Cool. Then last time on, Gabe was listening to it too. So if I miss anything, please feel free to help me out. But you folks had the Pharaoh's Eye stolen from you by an aspect of Kreation, a little gooey blob, and went and confronted Kreation about it. To I don't know. I feel like you got more. Who'd we lose, Dante?
We were tricked.
Well, I don't know that you were tricked in any of this. You got a mission, did it, and it collected. You just haven't gotten the payment yet. It wasn't like
I, wa-
The
exchange.
payment was a loss of friends.
I was tricked into doing a mission for a monster thing.
I guess so.
I wouldn't have accepted the mission from a blob man.
Why not?
Named Kreation. I would have. At least
Why
talked to him
not?
first.
We work with
Would have
a
at least
giant
talked to him
ant
first.
that like literally turns people into bugs from the inside out. Like, I'm fine with hanging out with a blob. I got no problem with this. My standards are not that high.
Flippy is playing.
I am basically a blob with 8 legs.
I have blob with 8
Classic.
legs.
The classic video game from the 21st century, Halo 2. And so he just doesn't like the look of him.
That's fair. That's fair.
I figured Slippy might be more of a fan of that Star Fox game.
Nope.
Shit. What game? What game is that?
Star Fox Adventure.
Yeah.
Slippy actually hates Starbucks.
Good. Yeah, you folks went to confront Kreation just to find out that you were in fact getting a reward for doing that. It just hasn't come yet. And on the way out, let's see, there was lots of unsettling info sort of dropped down. One, that Lily's planet, while cleared of invasive species status, has some form of invasive species treatment going on.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
And I'm unhappy.
On top of Lily's planet problems, we learned, I did not actually through Kreation, but we learned that BBW and Cola know each other from a previous interaction. Namely the one where BBW lost his memory.
The memory party.
Yeah, you folks, I mean, you folks went and confronted Kreation. That's basically it. Quite a bit of our, playtime that session was for re-recording anyway, so yeah, you confronted Kreation, and then
doesn't want the warp drives.
Yep. Kreation, so the eye, something with the breakdown of the Eye of the Pharaoh will allow Kreation to operate the warp drive without dying entirely, is what you folks do know. And I think when we left off, Cola had just sort of pitched to the party that we all meet up and break into what's his name, Captain Rake's apartment and confront him about this. And then we did our weeks.
Let's force Captain Rake to use the warp drive.
You want to make
Captain Rake? I'm
Captain
really
Rake
hungry. Can you take me to Space McDonald's like right now?
Immediately.
I can't wait.
The entire planet of Space McDonald's.
Can we canonize that?
They would fucking too, wouldn't they?
I want to go to Space McDonald's corporate where they have all of the options from all the worlds.
Oh yeah, that'd be really
the
cool.
drive-through is the asteroid
that'd
belt.
be rad as hell.
When you said I want Space McDonald's, my first thought was we have Space McDonald's at home.
Space McDonald's at home is a picture of Cookie's eggs.
So the drive-through is the asteroid belt. So what you're saying is it's the fourth planet from the center of the solar system is Mars Donalds?
Mars Donalds. Mars doesn't
Mars
have a
Donalds.
ring.
No, but it's the
No,
closest
but you said
planet to
asteroid
the
belt,
asteroid
not
belt.
ring. Those are two very different parts of our
The asteroid
solar
belt is
system.
the specific place.
Saturn has rings. It doesn't have asteroid belts.
Mars
Space
Donalds.
nerds.
You've been out nerded.
Space nerds. Oh man.
Actually, Pluto's not technically a planet.
Oh, perfect. Good getting me. So yeah, you folks have done your weeks. Let me think. Carl, you have a bolster. Oh, after I talk about everyone's weeks, we have something else to talk about before we just kick off into what we do. BBW, what did you do? You got a bolster as well, I think. I think you did a bolster. Carl did a bolster, and Slippy.
I was training.
Yeah, you trained with Lucy and Shaq. BBW, you worked on your machines and then hung out with Hyatt Cola during his investigation. Got a bolster from your thing. Hyatt Cola did his investigation, and Slippy got a mobile poison kit that he can make his poisons on the go.
Thanks, old lady.
But before we start, I remember at the end of last session, mostly because of the recording, that I wanted to make sure that everyone has 3 bonds. So if you don't have 3 bonds, we should talk about what that third bond is for you.
Good call.
Yes.
I
Half
only
for
have 1 bond right now.
good. So half for
I was
experience
sick
and
last week.
also half for like story build. Yeah, no doubt. I think I said that we would talk about this at the beginning of the session just to do just that. So Carl, we don't have to go both immediately, but do you have any ideas for one of them at least to start us off?
Fuck, if I did, I would have written it down.
Okay. If you are missing one, I would recommend we probably have a couple episodes left here on the station. So if it's a long-term one, I'd recommend it be with someone on the crew, because that will be primarily who is around us for the rest of our campaign. The crew and cluster.
My third one's already with core, so best not to get them all stuck here on the ship where I can't access them.
Right. Exactly. So, does anyone, BBW, do you have all 3 of your bonds?
I have 2.
Okay.
I just finished up one of them right now.
Okay. The one that you finished up right now, hold on to the end of the session, because that'll be an experience for you. How did you finish up one right now?
The second one on my list I finished up. I changed it a little bit to be better worded. Tell you why I actually wanted to be a bond.
Like you finished it from a previous session and we're fixing it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you need a third one for the crew as well, or I just recommend it being with the crew. It doesn't have to be, but it's just how you'll get experience. We'll have opportunities to level up, probably on the future mission as well, rather than just being back at home at the base.
Oh, I went from level 6 to 10. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, also the level 9 is I think the highest, so
we'll see.
Getting there is as you level up from here on out, I think it's a decent feat anyway. Do you have all 3 of your bonds, Slippy?
Yep.
Who are they with?
Lucy, Cola, and Captain Rake.
What is your bond with Captain Rake?
Because this is not the canon universe, I still something doesn't sit correct with Slippy about Captain Rake. Slippy has been suspicious of Captain Rake for a couple adventures now.
I mean, where we're at, that's adding up, so that one might be actually finishable pretty soon. Cola, how are your bonds?
Cola's only got 1 bond right now.
Better get bonded.
Yeah, I'm
better make some attachments.
Busy busy bonding over here.
How do you get
From
bonded with the S-Man? Bond with me.
besides cluster, I mean,
Mm.
from the adventure you've had on the station, are there bonds to be made with maybe Kreation or with Slippy? The
Oh,
pants
that's
encounter
interesting.
was weird. I only suggest Kreation here because, like, you know that you're dealing with Kreation, so in some form or fashion, so that might actually be solvable.
Mm.
I feel like a bond might have been created there in some way, especially since you
No,
have open ones.
there's that's a good point. I had 2 preliminary bonds written in. Let's see.
The oh no, is Kreation my kink bond?
I hope not. The Pleasure Tower does not have a room like this.
Not yet.
Not yet.
What should it? Where's the
Kreation
suggestion box at
pleasure
Pleasure Tower?
room. Pleasure room. I have a brilliant pitch. No, don't leave the
Pinhead would go to
elevator.
Pleasure Tower and be like, "What is this shit? This has nothing that I need."
Yeah. We should fill those out just because they're huge for getting people experience, and there's good time to level up before we leave the station. So,
Yeah, I'm getting them filled out now.
Mhm.
I think my other than cluster, I'm gonna bond with Kreation and BBW.
I
what's your bond with BBW? He did join you for your investigation a little bit.
He joined me for my investigation. He was, I think, most immediately on board with helping out. He didn't make me take my pants off.
True.
okay.
I
Make
didn't
you
make you
was a
take your pants
strong
off.
word.
I
He
was just
tricked
didn't have
you
that-
into
across
taking
the
your
hall with
pants
a gun.
off.
I didn't have a gun out. I didn't
You
say I'm
didn't
a
know
police
you had a
officer.
You chose to take your pants off and to not put them back on.
That is true.
But yeah, I
Yeah, that's
understand the
true. I
bond with
guess you're
BBW.
Lily, you are
I
right.
mean, I could also
He just didn't know that I had a gun out behind the wall. Because I definitely very much had my gun out.
Okay, so bond with BBW. What is this? Sorry, bond about. You were just getting to that, I think.
that's a great question because I was also just getting to writing it down. So,
Is it in the realm of wanting to see how he is as an investigator? Is it in the realm of maybe wanting to teach him some of the ways of investigation?
You want to cook for him?
Is he a
Wanna cook
suspect
for
for
him?
you in some form or fashion? I'm trying to ask leading questions. These are not,
yeah, no, I'm thinking about it.
Is there maybe something you hope that he can teach you about your own personal implants?
They can talk to you.
I think cluster's nope, not cluster. Cola's instinct is to I think take BBW in and teach him things about being an investigator. I think that's the way that he would react to like BBW being on board with his notions. And also maybe he feels he doesn't really know a whole lot about BBW's backstory. So no, never mind. He doesn't feel bad about feeding him distracted munchies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Distracted munchies. He fed you the cupcake at the party that made you lose your memory.
that's what they're called. Oh. Distracted munchies.
Distracted munchies. It's a TM. Um
Yeah, full copyright.
Where are the hyphens?
between every single letter.
No hyphens, one word.
One word, no spaces.
With
5
an A
hyphens.
or an O.
5 hyphens, all at the end.
Had to differentiate from the other 4 brands of Distract-A-Munchies.
Distract-A-Munchie -5.
Very popular title.
Okay. I like that. Taking BBW under the wing for a bond with Kreation. Lily, do you have thoughts on these 2 bonds?
Yeah, I've got some down. I want to. Carl's is suspicious about if Cola knows that the ISB is abusing its power, even if he doesn't specifically know that my planet has like camps on it.
Okay.
And as kind of an evolution of one of my bonds from last time, the second Carissa showed up, Slippy was on her ass and wasn't trusting of her. And I, instead of thinking that that's maybe because it's his ex, I think it's because Slippy's got a really good noggin for who the actual villain is. And so I'm just going to really trust his vibes and reads on everyone and assume that people he doesn't like vibe with are secretly the villains.
Slippy knows who
I'll
not
bet.
to trust.
I'll
We're gonna
never
see if
trust
he's
that
psychic.
Devious, duplicitous, double-faced, etc.
Which is base. You shouldn't.
Based on what?
Based on
Facts
what?
and logic.
Nuts.
Cool. BBW, do you have that final bond? Any ideas on it? Or anyone that you think that it might be with? We can maybe ask some leading questions to get to a bond.
Maybe.
Who are your 2 bonds with
BBW
right now?
has-
You have 2 bonds, right? You said one of
Yeah,
them
right
is
now with Carl and Hayek Cola. So the last one should be with Slippy. I've tried to pick one with Slippy. I can't think of one though.
I mean,
Besides like having been like on all these like times that they've been together. Oh,
what are your bonds with Carl and Hayek Cola? Maybe that can inform sort of the vibe of a third bond.
with Carl, it says, I wish for Carl to show me incredible things despite my initial programming instructions, and I hope to regain my directive.
From
Something like
Hayek
that. And
Cola?
no, that's from Carl.
Okay.
Then from Cola, this dude Cola is connected to my memory loss. What happened really? I must find out.
Okay.
So that's going to be tied in where how he's going to be taking me in ish, and I'll be with him a lot. I don't know
Yeah.
what I could do with the last one because
You don't know Cluster. Do you get any vibes from Kreation?
I think BBW thinks he's a good guy. He can make cake.
Is Kreation food?
His Kreation food.
No. I think other
That was one way to
NPCs that
find out.
may come up. I'm imagining that Captain Rake might come up before we leave. Lucy's often in and out of stuff. Slippy has one with Lucy. Marjorie, the like captain of the ship, might come up again. Core. I'm just like pitching out NPCs that I imagine we might come up against. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's not a third for you right now. You have an open slot. Just keep a lookout. You know, be cognizant that by filling that out, it's opportunity for an extra experience, right? So like look for some approach BBW can have to some person. Yeah. And if we leave, you know, that bond still exists for BBW, so erasing it may not make sense, but who knows? When we get out into space. No rules in space. All right. And Slippy, you filled out all of yours, right? Okay, cool. Perfect. I just wanted to do overall bonds to make sure that we're all set in a good place with our bonds. So when we last left off, you folks had gone through your weeks. Everyone had done their things, and Cola was sort of, or Gabe actually was sort of pitching that Cola would gather the crew and sort of break into Rake's apartment to surprise him and confront him with some of their knowledge. Because he still doesn't trust Marjorie, so Rake is going to be his approach, it seemed.
And I don't trust Rake.
And you don't trust
Me,
Rake.
Slippy doesn't trust Rake. But I haven't been summoned by
Rake.
Cola
He
yet, so I'm
seems like
gonna
a
wait
nice
to be
guy.
summoned by Cola. Slippy's at the house with his hairs in.
Yeah,
his
we're
hair in
probably I think when all this kind of concludes, we're the night before Cookie's funeral. So Cookie's funeral is tomorrow. You know, just in case it is anything for break into Rake's apartment plan, you know that Cookie's funeral will be I don't know about a normal space funeral. There is a normal space funeral, but it'll be a normal funeral. There will be a
Futurama rules.
uh there is a pit where the bodies go that get pretty fast churned into like compost for the rest of the food in O2. So the funerals are generally held in that area. So they drop the body off into the pit. There will be eulogies, and then there will be a post funeral sort of cocktail party where people just sort of gather and have drinks and such. As a plan for the overall funeral, in case, you know, again, that comes into breaking into Rake's apartment. But again, night before, how do we want to approach this situation? I think Cola, how do we want to approach this situation? Because the other three are just going through their station time, imagining that they're going to Cookie's funeral tomorrow.
All right. Did Cola speak with any of them prior to like, hey, we're gonna meet back up and do this thing, or was that just my thought?
No, I like as our weeks went, they literally did their week on the station, and your quote unquote week on the station was getting the investigation down. BBW was with you for a lot of that and for you gathering these thoughts, but I think that was literally Gabe saying, "This is my plan for next time," is what it sounded like to me in the recording.
I then Cola is just gonna show up outside their domicile again.
Yeah, we'll say it's like 8 p.m. the night before.
Knock knock, it's Cola time.
No one's home.
No one's home.
Slippy pokes his head out from the bathroom that is connected to his room so that he can shout into the hallway. And Slippy's got his hair. He has one hair in a curler. And he leans out and he says, "Hey, is somebody knocking on the door?"
No.
Knock knock, it's Cola time.
I'll open the door.
Why is it Cola time?
Greetings, Deputy Carl. We have urgent business.
You mean it?
Who's at the door?
Yes.
I'm glad to hear it. It's gosh, you know, I have no idea what your title is. It's Hi Cola.
Oh, does he have his?
I know I'm
pants
a
on?
deputy, and I know that you can make me a deputy. So those were the important parts of getting to know you.
I'm not coming out if his
Sergeant
pants aren't on.
Hyatt Cola's here.
I'm Hyatt Cola and I'm wearing pants.
Okay.
I wish I didn't have to announce this, but
I think he's safe this time.
Hi, it's me, Slippy. I'm also wearing pants, and Slippy steps out of his room.
I'm
thought you were in
not,
the
but
shower.
they don't make them for
Just because I have a curler in doesn't mean I have to wear pants. But I am.
I do wear pants in the shower. I don't have to though.
The jeans get washed, and so do I.
Woo!
I'm amphibious, so it doesn't matter if my pants are wet. I'm loving it.
It keeps you hydrated.
Sometimes,
So what do you
sometimes
need,
I'll wear a scuba suit and I'll fill it
Professor
with water.
Cola?
Just try a bunch of different titles.
Yeah, just different every time. And no, I will not stop if you tell me.
Then I won't. Cola doesn't mind being a professor.
This time.
Is BBW also out in the like?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I go
BBW said
to
his one-liner. What's going on?
I go to the like central, like the living room table or whatever. And I like gather around everybody. We have a mild amount of espionage to do.
I'm sneaky.
ESP? Is that like telekinesis? Oh, espionage.
ESPNage.
Sorry.
No, that's something to do with the sport ball.
I'm the stealth
Oh.
officer. I should know these acronyms better. I need to get my manual back out.
ESPNage.
I don't
Are you
like
also a
preferring
fan of the
something.
Aj?
Yeah, it's my favorite series. I
Name
especially love
10 Oddball players right now.
Bradley
Vince
Oz.
Vaughn.
Vince.
We roll a stout
Remember from
Morgan.
Oddball, a true underdog story.
Alan Cummings, the 56th.
I don't need 8 more. This is
Alan
perfect.
Cummings, what a good deep
Squinch
cut. I love that
Aj.
guy.
Ted hyphen from the
Squinch.
grocery store.
Good.
He wanted to keep his maiden name.
Perfect Oddball players.
Bill the Ball Ballerson.
He was not the ball.
And 4 more.
And 4 others. Perfect. That's it.
4 hyphen MORE. It's 4
Mhm.
robots played by 1 AI.
Yep. And then there's the other one that is 4 AIs played by 1 robot.
He's very strictly a minor league player.
He's super smart. They're very low level AIs.
Dumb.
All right, dipshit, over here.
What is ball?
Fuck.
This is a really good plan.
And 2 more.
How well would a stout war do here?
I'll spout it for 5 more hours
Like-
if you want me to.
I don't. I don't. Nothing.
Welcome to the Delta Dawn Aj cast. Where all the players just talk about their favorite Aj players and the great Aj games of the
Wow, we found the spin-off
the age.
podcast. There it is.
Everything that we love to dip our
The
French dips
Osh Ball
into.
Minute.
The Oddball minute.
Well,
all right, Cole. Now that we're here at the table,
All right,
what's
Cole.
up?
Now that we've just talked about our favorite sport for a little bit to break the ice, tell us the plan.
Espionage, you say?
and just like Vince Vaughn, we're men with missions. And tonight's mission is break into Officer Rake's apartment and ask him
Pretty sure
questions.
he's a captain. I'm really good at these things.
If you look at the paperwork, you will discover that he actually is not.
Damn.
Wait, Captain
just-
Rake is not
they-
a
Wait,
captain?
Maybe it's his first name. I'm sure there's a good reason for why they call him that, but it's not because his rank is captain.
does he even have his pilot's license? I don't know if he should be flying this thing. That's what the captain does, right?
Who's driving this thing?
Fortunately, we have a second captain.
Oh, thank God.
He told all of
Wait,
he was not. the
are
captain.
they a captain? Did you check?
So there are 3 captains.
Kreation? Wait a minute. Isn't Kreation in all the doors of the station?
Kreation
Or is
only
it
has
just
access to the lower 46%
downstairs?
of the
Okay.
station.
I don't know that that's true.
I don't know if that's true. I'm wondering
And growing.
how much Aj we're gonna have to commit here, and how much we can just be like, open the
we keep this up, we're
fucking
gonna end up with
door,
Taj
please.
Mahal.
Taj
We
Mahal.
do have God on our side in a way, for this ship, the god of this ship, essentially.
Are we sure we like having God in charge of this ship?
Absolutely not. God is a vengeful motherfucker, but we might as well use him while he's on our side.
That's true.
Well, that is an excellent point. However, the scope of this mission is sort of in the opposite direction. I'm hoping to gain one over Kreation, and maybe the next time that we talk, we can talk on equal footing rather than listening to a terrifying god in his flesh room.
Do you think he has feet?
I think he has so many feet, more than you can even possibly fathom.
I think he's got
has
just
feet.
one, like a snail.
He's
Ugh.
also got hands though, right? He's gotta have hands. How
Well,
is he gonna make it
if
fit?
Kreation wore pants, would he wear it?
Would you wear like this
How
or
would he
like
look?
this?
You're telling me a snail has one big foot under all that?
Yeah, the bottom part of the snail is just 1 foot.
I mean, trust the guy from the Species Bureau. He would know the biology stuff.
This is Hayek Cola saying this.
Of course.
Awesome. Sweet. Okay. Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can persuade Captain Officer whatever Rake. We want Rake on our side. Because it seems, based on the paper trail that I have discovered, it seemed to me that that it was Captain Marjorie that was putting a stop to all of the official reports about the Kreation experiments and anything to do with that. So I don't particularly trust Captain Marjorie, but perhaps Officer Rake would be more amenable to a more forthright, actionable plan.
So are we gonna threaten him, or like what's our leverage? What do we got?
Well,
Much more information than he does.
Yeah, we have information and guns, so we might as well start off friendly-ish. And because you can always threaten someone after you've been nice to them. It's a lot harder to be nice to someone after you've threatened them.
Yeah, even
I
the
don't-
niceness seems threatening after you've threatened him once.
I don't trust him.
Neither do I.
Canonically.
I'm just trying to figure out how
Well, then
we
you can be the one doing the
Non-canonically, we're freaking bros, though.
I feel like I could love Captain Rake like a brother, but I don't.
if we like spent a good holiday together, but I haven't and I hate it.
And I hate him.
Yeah. he usually gets home about 20 minutes from now. So if we move quick, we can be in his apartment before he even gets there.
Well, let me just go get my
Real
gun.
spooky like.
Scan
And
over
before
to
we even
Captain
start
Rake
walking-
clocking out on his computer station.
He's whistling. He's had a really good day.
Normal day. He loves his job. Just fucking hanging out, vibing, man.
It's not a bad day. That makes him a little bit easier to reach.
Is that how does that sit with the rest of the crew? Break in and confront Rake.
Any questions, comments, concerns?
Copyright infringements.
TM.
Add one more TM, and we're in.
TM.
Yes.
Sounds like the crew minus Lawrence.
No.
Lawrence hated it so much that
He fucking had to
He's just
leave.
out.
Slippy couldn't deal with that plan. And had to knock Lawrence all the way out. Once Lawrence pops back in, we can go break into Rake's apartment and confront him. No one's a fan of the skin room, huh?
no one likes it. It's bad vibes.
No one likes skin
As a
room.
viewer, it's really cool. I just don't want to be
Vibes are
friends with
I just don't want to be friends with it. I like this. This is good. This is good for the stream. This is good.
And just be glad that it's a podcast.
The audio is where it's at anyway.
My headphones kept doing this fun thing where mid conversation they would just stop letting me hear everything. So I would say a good one liner and then I wouldn't hear anything else.
Good. Good. It sounded like the crew was shored up to go confront Rake as he comes home. Okay. The four of you gear up as much as you do on the station and head over to Rake's apartment. It is, I mean, normal. It's a little bit further back in the housing area of the station. Hayakola knows the way. He's broken into this apartment before. And, you know, being back here, Hayakola, I'll give you a +1 on breaking into the apartment again, which I think is a defy danger, wisdom, or intelligence. One of those two.
While he's doing this, I'm gonna kind of mutter in the hallway. It'd be really cool if this door just opened itself or something.
Wouldn't it be cool if a benevolent being that lived on the ship would open this door for us?
Carl's just gonna be constantly testing the waters on what Kreation can just do.
You hear it lock again. You hear it unlock and relock.
Rude.
You don't hear that. But yeah.
I like that better at least.
Cola got a 7 on breaking into the door.
You're able to break in again. You do the same thing that you did last time, and the door opens fine. When you go to close the door, you realize that the the handle is sort of stuck, and so it'll close, but now the whole handle is very wiggly, very loose in its place. And you folks are in Rake's apartment, as Hayakola said, about 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes now before Rake comes home.
Well, we do whatever we need to do to set up here. BBW, do you have any tools that might be handy for maybe trying to fix up this doorknob?
Is this doorknob a robot?
Is it toastable?
I could say it's somewhere broken in the mechanics. Everything in here is electronic, so why not?
Yeah, honestly,
Okay.
they're probably key cards and not physical keys at this point.
Yeah, it leads to some handle, and the handle's jiggly, but maybe that's something in the mechanisms of the door.
I see. Well, I can run an operation to try to heal it, if that will stop the jiggliness.
Do it.
Why
I
not?
want to communicate with this robot, ask if it does need healing first, though, if it feels broken.
Oh, most certainly, it wasn't supposed to
Healing,
be picked in the first place. And the second time,
healing consent.
it's just gonna stick with it. Its mechanisms couldn't take it. The first time it just sort of strained them, but the second time broke a few of them, so it could definitely use
Mm,
some healing.
okay. I'm gonna run my 5th level operation with some, I
What
don't know.
what operation is this? No, I was more surprised that you said
Just-
5th level operation.
It's my major mechanical repair. You can heal it for 1d8 of damage.
All right, use robots. Your role to use
It's a
Alright.
robots.
Medorphic spell.
That is a 7. So one of the following happens after my operation runs. My machines drain of power. Operation stable machine. While I draw unwelcome attention.
Uh,
Lamau.
I'll say that you're getting used to this high level machinery. You haven't fine tuned it enough since you put it into your systems. This 5th level machinery. I'll say that specifically this healing robot is gets like scrambled. So you just have to do work on this one.
Okay, that's fine.
But the door is fine. The handle, you get the handle back into place, and it is good to go again. Um,
All fixed, except for me.
you folks
All right,
are
now
hiding.
who can roll to fix BBW?
You folks are hiding in the shadows of Rake's apartment. About 10 minutes later, when the door handle, you hear the familiar beeping of the key card sliding through the lock, and the door handle turns and opens up, and Rake stumbles into the room. Not stumbles. Rake moves into the dark room. Normally closes the door behind himself. He's humming a little tune. He has a jaunt to his sort of step, and he turns on a light at the door after he throws his keys in a bowl, and turns around and is startled by the 4 of you in his apartment. Just
He
to
doesn't
set
see me.
doesn't see you.
Hyatt
I was
Cola's
gonna say
in his desk chair.
perfect. Just to set the scene, Hyatt Cola's in his desk chair. Where's everyone else positioned around the
Fuck it,
apartment?
So
I'm gonna be hiding too.
we
'cause I
flash.
can camouflage. Just Hyatt Cola alone in the apartment. BBW's
that.
like behind a house plant.
We flash back to Slippy activating his tools of the trade trait, and he rolled an 11, so he's good. And he has a big rope. And so Slippy concludes his prep work by hiding, I don't know, like underneath the couch or something.
With rope?
I'm an amphibian. I can kind of slide underneath interesting places. And I have some rope and I have my guns.
Is the rope to tie?
That concludes Slippy's prep work.
Is the rope to tie up blood? What's the rope for?
Blood.
It doesn't.
You mean
It doesn't have a purpose yet, but it could have a purpose.
Okay, perfect. Carl's camouflage. BBW, where are you hiding? I'm just curious. Are you also just out next to Hyatt?
Yeah, I'm out above him on the ceiling, and I want to have my little birthday cake robots.
Okay.
And I'm
I'll
always maker.
Okay, then he definitely
And a
notices
disco
you.
ball is hanging down from you.
He turns around, he sees BBW in sort of party mode, and Hyatt Cola sitting in his desk chair. I imagine turning around as he turns around.
It's just a surprise party.
Surprise!
What's going on here?
Surprise. Rake.
BBW, Cola. What's this about?
Gonna inch my neck towards you, Hyatt Cola, and just my face is right next to yours. What are we doing here again?
Okay, Cola. Seems.
Um, your wonderfully intricate yarn wall was not fast enough for me, so I did a little digging.
And his eyes flit to his secret room and back to you.
His secret
Uh,
room. Oh, right.
y- yeah, I forgot to mention I wanted
recall now.
to I wanted to like pull the yarn and reveal that to them before Rake got in. But there just wasn't a moment.
Mm.
And I forgot.
You had 15 whole minutes, Hyatt. I don't think there's an excuse.
Yeah,
We
well,
were just standing here
The problem isn't
talking
with
about
Hyatt. It's,
sports while we waited for him to get here, and you couldn't mention.
I'm sorry. I just love sports.
Carl comes
got
out of
real
his
high
hiding
ass
just to
plant
shout at
hearing you
Cola, pointing at him, and then goes back into camouflage.
I went down into the uninhabited depths of the station and I found this. And
They were habited.
he presses a button on his wrist communicator to show a big blow up picture of Kreation.
Whoa.
What
BBW, you were there.
what is this? I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I where did
Still
you
ugly.
find this?
What is this? Doom 5?
Can I poke another button to like drop a pin on a map of the station for him? Or
Sure.
yeah.
You
Beep bop.
prepared a slideshow. Why not?
Yeah. Witness my PowerPoint skills. A
Uh,
tool from the old days.
He's like off of the landing bay. What's the that door has been shut for the past decade since the explosion.
I don't know what this thing is, but it's definitely in the electronics. If that door has been shut for the past decade, it's because that thing hasn't wanted it open.
He looks at BBW and he looks back at you, and he has like this worried look on his face, and he rushes over to his little secret door, and I think it was a picture frame. He writes the picture frame in the right way, and the secret door opens. And he goes into the room and comes back out with a picture of the little blob creature, the little three-legged thing, and he's like, does that have anything to do with these guys?
Those are its hands.
I knew it.
Don't understand.
This thing stole from us. And
What
then
did
it opened the door.
What did it steal from you?
A really big eye.
Okay. I can keep a lookout for the really big eye, I guess.
I mean, we know where it is. The monster has it.
Okay.
It told us many things, but one of the things it did tell us was that we could defeat it by activating the warp drive on the station.
He points at the flesh room. He's like, this thing told you that you could defeat it by turning on the warp engine. And I'll say that when you said that to me, you sounded rather gung-ho about that plan.
I'm fairly gung-ho about the plan. And it didn't like spell that out to us. It was more that it was explaining its goals, and its goals involved implementing this eyeball that it stole from the BBW party.
But is it smart enough to have manipulated us into thinking that?
I don't know. my whole life has been a lie up to this point, so like I guess anything is possible.
I This is a lot. This is a lot to take in. Just fresh out of work. I haven't even gotten into my comfy clothes yet. So
Please go ahead. Hyatt doesn't
Do you-
even wear pants most days.
Would it be better if you did that?
No,
Would this be easier for you?
I'm just saying it's it's already been a
You want
day,
me to get comfortable?
and you're
We can wait.
confronting. No. My comfy clothes are no pants. If you're comfortable with no pants.
I know that I am.
Oh, that was just a joke I like to have. That's fine though.
With who?
I guess you now. Uh, so what do you?
It's an inside joke with us now.
It's an
Inside
inside
my
joke
house.
with who? You now. That's how you start an inside joke. You just tell people. That's awesome. So you're. It's just a lot. This is a lot to take in. I don't even know what to do about all this. You said you were showing him a schematic with a little pinpoint. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. No. So
Who's in charge of the hyperdrive?
what's keeping in?
I was hoping that he would be in charge of the hyperdrive, or that he could at least like
Interrogate his
bypass
ass.
the
You think
regular.
they
We-
put an
we-
officer in charge of hyperdrive?
We
I'm a
flash
captain.
back to Slippy midway underneath, crawling underneath the couch. He's about 3/4 of the way underneath the couch, and Slippy says he's like looking up from the ground up at Hyatt Cole, and he said, "Hey, we need to figure out who has control of the hyperdrive." And we are fading back to reality. Hyperdrive, 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 hyperdrive.
Oh,
Oh, one more thing. Yes.
Rake. Who is in
Uh,
charge of the hyperdrive?
Wild question. A hyperdrive hasn't worked for a decade since the explosion as well. Wonder if
Did
all
the
these things are
computers tell you that?
Huh? Well, yeah, the hyperdrives don't
The
work.
computers are lies, Drake.
No, I mean going
There's a
down
flesh
there.
monster feeding us lies.
I am starting to understand that. It was a order an outcome. Trying to think of the right word. I don't know. It was the handed down. Marjorie told us she went in with the technicians and did the precursory investigation on the hyperdrive, and she said that while the station had the power level that it had, the hyperdrive would be broken, and once we got that fixed, we could begin repairs. But I don't know, it just happened. The repairs haven't begun quite yet. I'd imagine that they'll be on soon. That's a little early, but you folks will be headed out on a mission next once that hyperdrive is fixed and we can assure the station can move. That would be the next goal. Well, he says you folks. I guess he's talking to BBW when he says that at the moment.
Right.
Rake, would your key card get us access to the hyperdrive bay?
Unfortunately, it wouldn't. And all that area has been locked down by Marjorie since the initial investigation.
Hmm.
But but uh give me a parlay roll on that to see if he has more to give you.
8.
He says, I might be able to get you past the security on that door, but I can't do that as long as I don't have any reason to distrust Marjorie.
Did Marjorie tell you? Oh, damn it.
I'm really close to crawling out from underneath the couch.
Crawl
Right.
out.
I was gonna say you should.
Fucking everyone
would
comes
I
out at
be-
once.
Would I be
Well,
would I be
you said-
behind him? Would I be behind him if I crawled from underneath the couch?
No, he's at the front door. He's like just turned around. He's looking at Cola and his desk chair,
Damn.
BBW on the ceiling. You're just gonna crawl out from under the couch. It will still probably be surprising. I mean, if someone just crawled out from under your couch, it wouldn't be shocking.
No. I was gonna try to disguise my voice. It was gonna be very funny. Instead, I'm gonna just stay underneath the couch. Actually, what does it look like? Say hypothetically, I crawled out from the opposite side of the couch from what he's looking at.
Into a
Is it
wall. It's
perpendicular
like
to
back.
him in that way?
No, it's like back of the couch to a wall.
Well, there goes my plan.
Staying under.
Anybody
a couch.
else? I could just shoot him from here. Do you want me to do that?
If you shoot him,
Good
I'll
back
shoot him
pocket
too.
option. Oh
No.
goodness.
Do we want to force him to go to creation?
Solidarity.
I mean, we
All
do
right,
have.
bet.
We've got a rope.
Prepared.
Don't you
Cheeseburger.
have an entire station's worth of reasons not to trust Captain Marjorie? She lied to us
46% of the station.
about the reasons that the station has gone offline. She prevented communique from being sent to my agency about the experiments that were being done here. She has obfuscated all involvement in this project, the results of which are just becoming clear to us now that we are trying to clean up her mess.
It's definitely worth approaching her that why she would have kept this from reaching the home office, but I look at this very differently. If at any other point during any other station out there, the station had lost 40% of its power all at once, I mean, you can't point to another station that has survived a cataclysmic event such as this. And under her leadership, we were able to survive and flourish during this time. And not only that, but it seems as if her leadership has led us to fixing the problem. While she herself, of course, did not do the research. A captain rarely does, but it was definitely done under her order and guise. She got the station back up and running. I look at this very differently than you, it seems.
Yes, it would seem that you do. To my eyes, it would seem, based on the whole situation with the flesh monster controlling more of the station than we seem to, that it would be impossible to keep this station running without cooperation with the flesh monster. A fact that has gone both unannounced and unexplained. Do you think that we are not due an explanation?
That's why I'm saying it's worth a confrontation. It's worth. I've trusted her with my life as long as I can remember. That's why it's worth confronting about it. I would like to know as much as you would about whatever this thing is.
All right, let's all go break into Marjorie's house now.
It looks like another surprise party.
Intervention.
I guess so. Let's.
We need to practice honesty, Marjorie.
I mean, if you would like to talk to her, we can. Or you can. Sure, her office is she spends most nights in her office.
She there right now?
She was there when I left. About 20 minutes ago. Like I said, she spends most nights at work at her desk. Some mornings I come in, she's asleep on the keyboard. Led to a couple wild reports, but for the most part,
We blame the cat.
Captain, what did you mean by www?
Captain, why are you key smashing? Are you a bottom?
Can I get Cluster in? Can I radio Cluster?
sure.
Cluster comes in through the front door right now.
What's up, boss?
Cluster. What? Cluster, can you give me the location of Captain Marjorie?
Yeah, boss. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, she's just sitting at a desk working on. I can't really see what she's working on from this angle, but she's plugging away. I'd say that I haven't really seen her move all day. She ate a lunch, but she'd been here all day.
All right. Thank you very much, Cluster. I guess, do we want to go confront her in her office?
Sure.
It seems kind of suspicious. Did she never leave her office?
That's what it sounds like.
Spends most nights in her office, you said.
That's not
yeah.
healthy.
No, but she's working hard to keep our station going without 40% of the power. And there's so much work to be done now that the power is back to get the technician crews ready to go down and repair the engine. It's a lot of work to run a station.
Yeah, which is why communication is important.
Uh,
Carl is straight
Barely.
up standing in the corner behind him at this point.
Did Carl say
was
that?
in the corner behind the door. Yeah. Carl was in the corner behind the door hiding. Carl has at this point stood up and is
He says,
standing behind him.
He says, that is a fair point. Hold on, what the fuck? Carl, what are you doing here?
Well, I mean, BBW's here, and I don't let BBW go anywhere where I can't shoot anybody that threatens him.
We're only missing Slippy from
Slippy.
this party.
This is true.
Slippy puts his gun away and then he slides out from underneath the couch.
There's a huge shaking on the couch as he puts his gun away.
and he holds the rope behind his back and he stands up and he says,
Oh Christ.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Captain Rake, if that is your real name.
Yes, Rake is my
I
real
don't
name.
trust you.
Kate, can I tell you, Captain is no one's real name.
But I need you to know something.
Mr. America lied.
Mr.
I knew those were suspicious.
lied. His real name is like Ted or some shit.
Listen, Edward, Captain Edward.
Rake is the. What are we talking about? Tedward is my real name, but I go by Teddy.
Edward.
Do you trust Marjorie? Yeah.
With my life.
Okay. Do you trust us when we say that there is a flesh monster at the bottom 46% of the ship?
I won't say with my life because that seems scarier, but I see the evidence here.
So you don't need to go for you to believe us.
Go where? To
See the
Marjorie.
flesh
To the flesh
monster.
monster. Because we have access to that. We might not have. We
No,
might
we
not.
could bring
Gosh
you-
darn it! Have access to the flipping hyperdrive, but we have access to the flesh monster.
I mean, I want to see what Marjorie has to say about this before I'm gonna go
You don't
poking
want to
her.
walk.
Do you
straight
think
into
I
a
can
flesh
deal with that?
monster?
He points at a room. He's like, he tries to reach out. He's like, I can't even touch both walls at the same time in my own apartment. What am I supposed to do with this thing?
Okay.
Blast it out of the
Well, I just
goddamn
need to know one
hyperdrive.
more thing. I just need to know one more thing.
What?
Are you hiding anything?
He looks at his now open secret room. No,
No.
not anymore.
Are you hiding anything else?
No.
Very valuable.
What is that? What am I trying to roll here? I'm trying to determine if he is lying.
Discern realities, or if you don't want to question, because that, like, I feel like questions could give you that answer. Or if you don't want to question, you can
Defy
just do a
danger.
defy danger.
Charisma for kind of an insight.
I like charisma, yeah, because this is all speech related.
Okay. I got a total. Hold on, let me double check. I'm pretty sure I increased this. I did indeed. I got a total of an 11.
On.
The one where I don't have to ask a question.
Defy danger. And what you're trying to figure
That's it.
out if what?
I want to see if he is hiding. Like, does he know more than he's letting on?
Oh, no, with that, no. This man is, like, taken aback. In fact, he's, like, in shock a little
He's
bit
just
with
an officer.
fucking everything you guys have presented to him. The picture was a lot. Knowing that it's connected to these things and that something this big is in the station is a lot. He does, in fact, trust Marjorie. He is fervent in that he is, like...
Okay.
before he is willing
So I
to
need to-
act, he needs her either approval or proof of betrayal, basically.
Yeah, like she may be a
Because
liar,
he
but I
needs to
believe she's
understand.
doing it for the best.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Positive lies exist, and Rake knows this. And he's hoping that this is one of those.
I just need him to know that we're serious. I think he can tell now.
He can tell. He can tell. I also, really quick, need everybody to roll a d20. And that's it. Just that.
Whoa.
I'm trying to get
what?
your rewards together for this mission. I didn't... a d20.
8.
Okay, pause at that. 1 second. I'm gonna write all this down so I can look it over while we're talking about things. Your rewards will come eventually.
Oh wow, they're in the mail.
Okay. Whoever else has one.
3.
I got a big 4 over here.
3, 4.
Gabe.
11. Do I get rewards? I wasn't on this.
No, sorry. You're right.
The corpse of Cookie, those get passed on to the crew.
No. Why would a reward show up for Cookie?
What was Cookie's will? Who gets Cookie's pension?
Chutch.
Dibs. No, I called dibs.
Well,
I
I said
called
him, so who gets Chutch's pension?
I called dibs. All right. I will look those up. I just wanted to be prepared. So are we leaving Rake in his apartment to go confront Marjorie? Actually, Rake seems, he's like, let's go ask Marjorie about it right now.
He has to come with us.
She'll prove
Sophie
to
is
you
like
that she
walking directly behind him.
she'll show you. There's nothing to worry about. She doesn't know anything about this guy.
I hope so. Let's get one thing clear, Mr. Rake. If she is against wanting to use the hyperdrive ASAP, that's a problem. If she's against
Why is that?
letting us inspect the hyperdrive, that's a problem.
Okay.
Because both of those things would point to her being in cahoots with the room of flesh.
What did this thing
It may be
tell you
still proven
guys?
guilty, but we have more proof that she's guilty than we have proof that she's innocent. So she's got to give us something that gives us a reason to trust her, because we have a lot of reasons right now not to.
What did this thing tell you guys?
We have a whole room of flesh of reasons.
It promised me a cake.
Promise you what?
Well, you see,
It promised me a cake.
Well, I see what. Okay. I mean, yeah, so let's go hear what Marjorie has to say. Let me go run to the bathroom real quick. BRB, give me 1 sec.
I prefer butter.
What?
To Marjorie.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should play it coy. I think we should not immediately be like, "Hey, flesh room, what do you know?" I think we should be like, "Hey, we heard
Hey,
about the hyperdrive.
Marjorie, it's us. These people
We're
who
gonna
don't really know each other, as far as you know, in your office after hours.
I say we just
we're gonna
tell
need
her
to check
straight
out the
up that it's an
hyperdrive.
intervention. It is.
We're worried about you.
You need to stop working so hard, and you need to give us your key card."
Your subordinate doesn't trust you. He's got a secret room, so we need to check out the warp
Yeah, this
drive.
guy's very sus.
So we learned about this secret room, and so we need to go look at this other secret room, which we call the warp drive bay.
The
We
secret warp
believe
drive
that
bay.
this officer has another
Wink.
secret lab at the wharf drive, so we have to go look.
We think there's a
the paneling.
secret room. And that's coming from a security officer. You have to trust that type of professional opinion.
That's true. And a combat officer. I make sure you don't get combated.
That's my only dream.
Not to be combated.
Okay.
That's why I took the not being surprised, because if I'm going to be combat, I need to at least see it coming.
Then maybe would I make the situation more suspicious by being there?
In your approaching of Marjorie?
Maybe I just stand outside
Why
the
would-
door.
I don't know. I think
You're the one doing
I
this
think maybe you
investigation.
actually.
I mean,
Yeah, you actually have the most authority, I would say, because she's
I
kind of
guess,
like our
but if
boss. But
I mean,
Yeah, you don't
but you were
work
also
for her.
talking about not
Being
not being
confrontative.
sus immediately, and my
it's part of the investigation. The warp drive bay is part of the investigation.
This is just
It is-
a normal part of the investigation, not necessarily an interrogation of a suspect.
We have to take Greg with us, and you need to stop working so hard. Take
Okay.
a nap.
all right. I've got a line of inquiry. I guess I can pursue.
You throw a PowerPoint together on the way.
Yep.
You folks enter into the bridge. It's in the evening. Things are dying down. I think I said 8 p.m., so it's pretty late in the evening. I'm gonna wait till Gabe comes back because he's sort of in charge of this investigation. He just took off his headphones, so 27. I have to adjust everything that I read on this thing for this game and what we're doing. So, Gabe, I don't know. You folks enter into the bridge. It is pretty late here. There are a few technicians at their workstations going over, but I mean, this place is staffed 24/7. However, here, as the evening, the late night begins to approach, there is really only one or two technicians at their stations going over the various screens and security feeds. You can see Marjorie in her glass-walled office off to the left as you enter. And you walk over. She is, I mean, her desk, big wide desk, covered in forms and files and paperwork, and she's typing furiously on her computer with 3 screens up in front of her. And as you approach the office, she looks over and she says, "Oh, Hyatt and crew, BBW, Carl, Slippy, good to see you. What can I do for you folks today?" And she goes back to typing on her computer. You're muted, I think.
I enter with purpose and I discern realities on her.
Okay. This is the first time you no.
No. But I did tell the truth when I did it last time.
Discern realities.
That's wisdom, correct?
Yes, discern realities is
Yes,
wisdom,
okay.
yeah.
Then a 9.
A 9. Ask one question.
While I pull that up, my investigative eyes question is what do you not want me to know?
She When you enter, she's on the computer, and without like missing a beat, she's like moving forms around on her desk, and she covers up a form that you see before she covers it up, and it is a request from the technicians to begin working on the warp drive, and it's in her just big pile of like undone paperwork, but she actively covered it up, as if she's maybe not working on it right now or choosing to not fill it out. It's there. She knows about it and hasn't done anything to
And
approve the
she knows
technician's
that
work.
we want it done.
She
Oh,
does not.
If she hid it from us,
Not yet.
Oh, yes. I mean, yeah, she should. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Does she ask you one question in this
No,
example?
not if I've already done it. It's just I get to ask another question from the list if I've answered truthfully, uh, and I've used it on her before.
Okay. Gotcha.
Um, who's really in control here?
Uh, she is. She seems fully in control. I don't know that
Okay.
yeah, you don't see any other, like, signs of creation. I imagine that you might be looking for proof that creation is, like, present here. You don't see anything that would give you that, sense. Even now that you've seen him, there's nothing sticking out that's like, "Oh, that before I should have known, but I didn't."
Kreation may have 47% of the ship, but Captain
40.
Marjorie has 53, and that's the fucking majority.
Yeah.
She's in charge here.
She seems in charge.
Captain Marjorie, my investigation has taken an unexpected turn.
What can you tell me?
We have been tracing the past observances and locations of the former agent Pevins.
Okay.
And while most of his pathing tracks with the way that he was behaving in his final days, um, we did note one discrepancy that I would like to investigate before I can call this case completely closed. He took 2 separate trips to the warp bay, um, for reasons currently unknown. I would like to head down there and take a look myself before I can call this case closed. These crewmates, um, have become swept up in the investigation, and I felt duty bound to let them see it to its point of conclusion.
Uh, it's interesting. The doors down there haven't been opened in quite a number of years. Things are the last technician's investigation. I believe they told me that things down there were unstable and rather dangerous, and until we could do anything about it, that area should be sealed. And since then, it has there's been no notifications, especially recently or anytime. Especially recently is misleading. There's been no indications that door has become unsealed. Whoever gave you that info might be throwing you for a loop, Hyatt Cola, Agent Cola. I like that better.
No, Captain Taylor, I assure you that my information is 100% correct.
Slippy's like almost in the very back. He's behind pretty much everybody. And Slippy from the back says, "PU, something stinks in here. Did somebody fart, or is it something else?"
What are you saying, Tombleson?
Everyone turns and looks at Slippy.
Yes, Tombleson?
Yep. Something stinks in here is what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Back to you,
Fart?
Cola.
Yeah, let me see.
Sorry, I'm not a
Yeah.
very good detective.
I don't know. I guess the technicians haven't gotten to me yet, but since the late Cookie's work has been completed, I'm sure there'll be a form coming through any day now to get that taken care of, and the technician
Am
crew
I
will go.
able to whip out the form that she's clearly lying about right now?
Defy danger, dexterity. You're doing it fast. Or you
How
can
is
give me a
my
defy danger, charisma, or a
nimble
parlay. Probably a parlay to just, pull it out of her. But if you just want to like slip your hand in there, yeah, dexterity.
Yeah, dexterity's not my strong suit. All right, we're gonna try and talk our way through it then.
Once that form comes through and the technicians tell me that they're ready, we'll be sending a crew down.
Do you mean the unsigned form from the technicians that you were clearly attempting to hide as I entered this room, Captain Taylor?
I don't know. She like looks around on her desk, obviously not ever moving the form she needs to move. I don't know what there's obviously a lot going on in this desk. If you're telling me that they sent me the form, maybe it is on here somewhere. I need to do a good cleaning and get to the bottom of what's on here, but
Would you like me to produce it for you? It's right there. I watched you hide it.
She pulls it out. She's like, "Oh, I mean, I guess
Like shit here.
yeah, looks like they did put it
Smells
on the
like
desk."
shit.
I don't. Are you okay, Tombleson?
I apologize. I'm just really excited to be a part of my first investigation. I've never been a deputy before. It's just I see a lot of cop movies,
Sorry, he's still learning the good cop, bad cop thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
first time deputy, it happens.
Well,
Wait, it's good cop, bad cop. I thought it was good cop that smells shit.
and that's the one I can tell you're portraying. But
No, he was being the good cop.
Oh no.
Yeah, he kept trying to cue the rest of us to be the cop that smells shit, but
Okay, well this was fun.
anyways, back to my
It didn't work out because I can't smell.
Real quick before we get back to your jammer, actually, Gabe, I do want you to roll a d20.
She's already produced the form.
No,
I
I'm
got
not.
it out of her.
I'm not. That about something different.
Oh, a d20. Okay.
Yeah.
Should I just let my 11 roll, or is this for something else?
No, this is for something. This is a
All
side.
right,
I do want you to roll a d20.
8.
Ugh. Well, I'll be right back.
Great. Okay.
Let's use the restroom.
Okay, that wasn't for this. I just wanted to have you roll that along with everyone else.
Yeah, no worries.
So, yeah, they must have put it here today. I don't know what to tell you. Obviously it's going to be approved and the crews will get to work, probably by tomorrow. Although we have, huge funeral for Cookie tomorrow. Maybe the technicians that I don't know what they'll do, but I'll approve it. I mean, is that all that this is about, or?
No, as I have already
Detective Cola,
stated,
what does the post date say on that form? Does it say
an
today or does it
excellent
say several
question,
days
Deputy
ago?
Tumbleson. When was this request submitted?
It doesn't smell like shit in here, but it might.
Oh, it looks like yesterday, but I'm busy here in work all the time. What are we supposed to? I don't know. Yesterday. But easy to stamp the old approval on it and get it moving. If yes, is that what you're here for? Would you like to deliver it yourself?
I mean, I would like to see you stamp that form. Yeah. But that's not why I was originally here. As I've stated, I was originally here asking to visit the warp bay and examine it with my own 2 eyes. Since it is safe to be worked on, it should be safe to be looked at, correct?
I mean, BBW might be on the crew. It just requires a good crew of technicians to get down there. Things are dangerous, and if you're not familiar with the craft, you might be in more danger than most.
I'm familiar enough.
I am sure that you are, Agent Cola, but there are processes that have to go through, that we have to go through. And the engine will be up and running in a couple weeks. She stamps the file. If you would like to deliver this form yourself, I can tell you that Agent Pevins did not indeed go to the warp engine from wherever that piece of info came from. It is a true falsehood. She flips around one of her security cameras and clicks a couple buttons, and she says, "There's been nothing on the security feed about the doors opening since Pevins has been on the ship, or even for a long time before."
Our report stated that he was using the ventilation system. However, out of fiction, do I need anything from Marjorie to go down there and look at it myself?
That's up to
Like, do I need
you.
like a captain's key card, or
Supposedly it's sealed.
Yeah, so it is the door to that area of the ship is locked with what Rake told you. Her approval needs to open that door. So you can imagine a captain's code, key card, whatever that is. Probably let's go with key card. Not that
would
that's
the would
nothing
the stamped
unhackable, but
would the stamped form count?
as a swipeable key card, no. No, it's a stamped form. If I took a stamped form from like anyone else, I could
Yeah,
not swipe
yeah,
that.
no, I don't know. I mean, we're in the future. Maybe it's got a QR code or whatever.
That's a good
Um,
point. That's a good point. But no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
all right.
I think it's something that I mean, if Rake can't access it, if only one person in the station has access to it, you know that the access for yourself without that would be difficult, but not insurmountable.
Is now the time to be the bad cop?
I don't
Doesn't
know.
seem
You
like
got
good cop quite worked.
4 other cops with you. Deputies, I should say.
Hey other
Well, we already
deputies.
know which one I am.
He's the cop
Yeah,
that smells
you're the
shit.
one that you're the cop that smells shit. The least useful cop.
PU.
Um,
I still
does
don't
anyone
get
else
this
want to
bit.
take a crack at at good cop before I try bad cop?
Marjorie,
Yes.
I'd really like him not to make me shoot you.
I'm sure that that is the worst way forward for all of us, indeed. For everyone. I'm sure that's the
Just
worst way
genuinely,
forward.
I think you're really cool. So like,
Yeah, me too.
well, given the opportunity to be good cop, I just want to say straight out, I would like this not to escalate into a bad cop situation.
if bad cop
The cop
revolves
that
pulling
doesn't
out
want to shoot you. That's the best
guns,
cop. That's the good cop.
if I would maybe rethink your approach to this conversation, Deputy Carl. I appreciate a good cop, bad cop approach. I
About
just
the cop
don't
that
know
smells
that
like
you're
shit?
in the place, standing in the place to be making promises such as these. Give me a defy danger charisma, Carl.
$11.
You get the sense that this is entirely light ribbing. This is like as if she's taken what you said as an entire joke and has ribbed back. But you definitely feel that. You feel that. This isn't like a oopsie. You feel that.
Gotcha.
Like sort of like the way she responded to Cookie's eggs, right? Where when she
Yeah.
saw Cookie's eggs, she was like, "And I am in control of the situation."
Not threatened, but not offended.
Yes, yes. Yeah, if you're up here for the warp drive, we'll have it up and going very soon, and the station will be back on its course as it should have been. I should have done my due diligence and reported this to the home office, but I thought that this was something we could handle. It might have taken us quite a bit longer to handle, but I thought it was something we could handle on our own.
Can you throw us
Flippy
on
says,
the email list for that so that we get updates as it
Yeah,
progresses?
what's your email?
c-arl@glub.glub.
Glove.club. Perfect.
"Oh, you got a glove? That's awesome."
Oh yeah, they're rare.
Ma'am, with all due respect, uh, A, it smells like shit here. B, are you gonna make us follow the same path that Pevins did? Because I mean, we have the
I
trail
would
hasn't been followed to completion, and so we're gonna have to crawl. Man, it smells like shit in the ventilation shafts, but we're gonna have to go there unless you give us the access. We just need to be in there for a minute, please.
I think that you folks have already done enough following of the path that Pevins has laid.
Uh,
She spins a second one of the monitors around to a shot on Pevins. Not you shooting Pevins, but a picture taken in post
a before and after.
of Pevins. Yeah. No, just the after of the cleanup crew. They took pictures of the situation. And she says, believe that this is your work, no, Slippy? Or Carl,
No,
BBW?
I
It's
don't have
one
a
of your
gun here.
work, I'd imagine.
Um,
I don't know.
but that the dead body of Pevins doesn't tell us why he went to the warp drive twice.
No, but my security logs tell you that he didn't, in fact, go to the warp drive.
They make me crawl through the ventilation shaft. I can't believe you're making me do this.
What, okay, from me as the GM, what are you just want her to open the door for you to go down there?
Yeah, because it's easier.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were all, I knew what you wanted
Yeah,
from the
Slippy is just
conversation.
literally complaining at this point.
Okay.
He just wants it to be easier, but he's just gonna have to go do some rolls and stuff. He's gonna have to go roll some d6s, I think.
Gabe, I need you to roll one more time a d20, just separately from things. I can't. This one doesn't work for you. I can't do this. Making it into universe very easy. Giving it to you, bad idea. It doesn't make sense for me to give you more shield. 3 shield is so much shield. I can't give you more shield.
I think Slippy turns to Mr. Rake, and Slippy says, "Well, Mr. Rake, you've been awfully silent.
Oh fuck, I forgot Mr.
What do you think about this situation?
Uh,
Maybe suspiciously silent, I might say. Like you were trying to be forgotten."
Oh wait,
Hey, don't just call him Mister. He's an
ignore
officer.
me. Don't roll that again. I can absolutely do it for you.
Something
Marjorie.
smells like shit in here.
They've made some pretty good points. The warp drive has been fixed for a few weeks now, and I figured you would jump on that right away, right? Like our whole job out here is just expanding the colonies, and we haven't done our job in a very, very long time. No, Rake, I understand. There's a lot going on with losing 40% of the station for this long that we have to get things back in place. I thought you understood me. I do. I just look. Show her. Show her. Show her the thing that you showed me. Cola.
All right.
Cola. Show her.
We had this discussion,
I've
Officer
been
Rake, about like keeping cards off the table, and
I mean,
I'd
at
just
this
like
point,
you to know that you're the worst cop.
Aw.
I like you as a person and as an officer, but you're the worst cop.
Would you? Where was your line of where was your guys' line of questioning going? Did it seem like it was going anywhere? I want to get things out. We said we were going to come and confront her about the problems, and it doesn't seem
And
like we are going down.
During the conversation that we can't trust her
I
because she's already hidden things from us actively during the conversation.
I do trust her. I do trust you, Marjorie. Don't. I think that all of this can be explained. I think that if the cards are out on the table, that we might be able to get some actual information.
And that's why we tried to give her the chance to put those cards on the table, and she refused over and over and over. We gave her every chance to be honest with us before we told her that we already know, and she refused because she doesn't trust us and she doesn't trust you.
Hey guys,
maybe
we have
she
this
should.
conversation outside of the office for a second.
No, I want to
kind of
have it in
grabs
front of
the-
her. I want her to see this, and I want her to know
Slippy
the
shrugs.
emotional impact she's having on this poor guy. Because he's nice, and she's not being nice to him.
I am just doing what is best for the people of this station. I've kept us alive throughout this time, and I plan on keeping us alive further. I'm all for getting the warp drive up and going and distancing ourselves more and more from this home, from the capital. More and more. I love this.
Captain Taylor, I couldn't care less
Every time you
about your
say that, I
feelings.
question if that is, in fact, my last name. I think it's Vernon, but I don't fully remember.
I thought it was Marjorie Taylor.
And now that I've said Vernon, I'm pretty certain, she looks down, that that is in fact what it says on my name plaque down here. Marjorie Vernon.
Marjorie
Captain.
Vernon Taylor.
Oh, fuck, it is hyphenated. Okay, I see where you're coming from. That's an old one. She tosses that one and puts a new one where it just says Marjorie Vernon. That was from my last marriage. I understand how that would be confusing.
At some point, we'll figure out who it was whose name was Taylor, and then that's in fiction. Captain Vernon, let me make myself abundantly clear. I will be going through those doors tonight. And this is your chance to cooperate with that effort. Now, in that interest, what can you tell me about this? And I show her the picture of Kreation. And also the picture of the little Goombas.
Kumbaya, my
And trust me, it smells like shit in there.
Then
It actually doesn't, which you'd think it might, because it's a lot of flesh, as you can see.
it seems like this has gone past me stopping it. And she reaches down and pulls out a card and hands it across the desk to you, Hayakola.
See, this is why communication's so important, Captain. And we're just trying to
Now,
make
if
sure
you
everyone's
would,
not being turned into a flesh wall.
for my investigation and for the sanity of your junior officer, please explain yourself.
Rake, just know that this is all to protect you and the people here. I've only done what I think is best for all of us, but the event on the station a decade ago has shown me many things, and I think that it is only best that we permanently distance ourselves from the capital cities and home offices of the back Atmos star systems. We need to get off of their net, off of their radar, and out of here. They have their hands in far too many pots. If you've already met Kreation, then you are already well aware of what it can show you. I am aware of Kreation's existence here on the station, but its plans are maybe for it to tell you. I can get you beyond this door, but I can't promise that that's going to get you access all the way to the warp drive.
Why were you
Then
trying
give
to
us
prevent it
access.
just because of Kreation?
I'm sorry?
Are
Were
you
you just trying to
scared?
prevent it because to keep people from finding out about Kreation?
How much do you know about its plans?
Enough. I have been sort of talking in and out with it amongst over the years and coming
The Pharaoh's
to
Eye.
conclusions. That easy piece it needed for its puzzle. I believe that it can break down pieces of it for its uh, longevity. I guess it explained that it had something to do with the warp engine and keeping it intact post usage. The biggest reason I've kept it locked down there. I can give you access through the door, Slippy. In fact, I've just handed the card to Agent Cola, but just because I give you that access doesn't mean that Kreation is going to let you through. I'm sure you know that
But
it
what
has
did you
its.
have to gain? Why are you helping it? Por qué?
It seems to be on our side. It seems to be against, at least, the back Atmos capital city, and has shown me enough to say that to show me that I should be as well. I have seen dark things that they have done, and I want no more of it. I'm not going to be a part of pulling more and more cultures into this bubble of toxicity. Kreation offers an out for me and the people on this station, the people that I love and work with on a day-to-day.
To my eyes, Kreation offers an out only for itself.
And those
The
people should get to
activation,
choose, God damn it.
Everyone benefits
the
in a
activation of
symbiotic
the warp drive
relationship.
may have meant the end of Kreation, but it would not have meant the end of the folks on the station. It would have just accomplished your stated goal of
Well,
getting away from the capital
Why-
city.
prior
Yeah, but
prior
there's no
to
reason to kill everyone or to kill it if you don't have to. You can work together.
prior to Cookie actually completing her work and providing us with the rest of the power we needed, the warp drive simply wouldn't have worked before. Now, I've had a number of years to come to these realizations. This is not since Cookie's work. Cookie's work through us made us rather scared for quite some time, but we worked our way around it and forward.
Funny that Cookie's last accomplishment was to both fix the thing that can kill Kreation and give Kreation the thing that can save it.
We didn't even need to do the side mission.
It might have been simpler if we hadn't.
You
Says
could
Oh,
have
come
never
on,
been
Cola.
born,
If
Cola.
we hadn't gotten that side mission, then you wouldn't be part of the crew.
We would never know about
We
Kreation.
we only had so many cabins available.
So you're pro. Honestly, at this point, I'm gonna just sort of say, well, good luck with all of this, not Captain Rake. And I think the rest of us have a date with the warp drive.
Good luck.
Don't do anything crazy while we're gone.
Okay.
Lead the way, Commander Cola.
It's Agent.
Guy with key.
Rake
I
says,
understand. I understand why you've made the choices you've made.
and yet.
I don't. It smells like shit in here.
But
Make
the
the choice to
way
clean.
the way you've gone about it leaves you in a less than trustworthy position. However, that's not
I
really
rolled it
my
down.
that's not really
Wow.
my issue. I'm not particularly related to this. I'm just here to
I have to make.
do my job, and out I go.
And as you walk out, she says, "And so do I." And you folks head towards the warp drive. Down the elevator to
God
the
damn it, Captain Rake.
bottom of the station. Captain Rake stays back in the office. He says, I gotta have a chat with Marjorie." Um, you folks head
And I
down.
really
I'm
wanted to
pissed at
shoot
him.
Marjorie.
You head down the elevator to
I thought about it.
the bottom. There is a workshop down here and a big iron door, or a big steel shut door with a sort of old rusted keypad off to the side. A little swipe pad, I guess. No one is
Swipe
down
the
here.
key.
It's old. It's old. You swipe the key, and the door groans to life and opens up to a pretty long hallway. It's dark in here. The lights flicker up and come on. They haven't been turned on in seemingly years. Instantly though, you can see the presence of Kreation. There are the thinnest of roots tendriling out, almost touching this door, and as you look down the hallway, they just get like thicker and thicker as they go.
Well, this is gonna get gross.
The four of you trek off down the tunnel, and at first
By the
Cookie would
by,
have loved to
Is-
harvest some of this meat.
does anyone yuck?
that's yuck to Cookie.
I'm not Cookie.
That's fair.
Cola.
That's yuck to Cola. Okay.
Does anyone have like a flamethrower? Or I know this is a little late to ask this, but
Door shutting behind you.
yeah, no, we're already in it, but I figure I might as well ask. I
No,
don't
I
know what
only
you
have
guys
this
are
big
about.
gun.
Yeah. I've got a little gun and big fists.
I have this little tiny
Have fun.
pocket thing. It doesn't do much, but I think I can throw it at people.
I have a laser.
A laser could prove useful. It's it sounds like we might run into some doors that can't be opened with this key card.
If they have visible hinges, I have this rifle and I can shoot it very fast.
Also good. All right. All right. Two ways to get through some maybe blocked doors. I guess we'll hopefully there's a big button, a big green button that we can turn on
I
the
hope there's a big button that says warp drive go.
yeah.
That would be awesome.
Or
That would-
like
That would be ideal.
8 or less levers for me to pull.
Yeah.
Would be ideal.
Yeah, this warp drive is going to be a very active startup. It's going to require so much input from all of you, but we'll see. As you enter into the hallway and begin going down, as you do, it is pretty calm at first, and you're moving down this hallway.
Like that.
You start to hear traces of whispers echoing down the hallway, and they begin surrounding you. And it's the voice of Kreation. You are, I don't know, maybe 15 feet into the hallway. The walls are a little bit more fleshy than they were at the start of the hallway, and Kreation says through the whispers, let's see. So Marjorie let you in, huh? What is it that you hope to accomplish down here? Says to all of you. No one in particular.
I'm not sure, but Hyatt seems to be thinking genocide.
It smells like shit in here.
I have done a lot of work
I
to
assume
keep
you are the
my
only of your
flesh
case.
smelling incredible.
Oh,
Gross.
I moisturize
I use lavender
everywhere.
moisturizer.
Those little hands busy all day going throughout the ship.
You smell like shit, Frogman. I
That's
smell.
why it smells like shit everywhere you go.
Oh no. It's my nostrils. It smells like shit in there.
The smell is coming from inside the nose.
What is it you hope to accomplish down
I-
here?
I'm not gonna lie, Kreation. I just don't trust you, and we sort of want to see what like. We don't want to be past the point of no return. We sort of want a bargaining chip, basically, is what I'm getting at. I don't feel like I have any power in this situation, and I kind of want some, and this seems like the most efficient way to get some.
Why
You
is
seem
it?
like God, and like sentient creatures are not huge on
can't
just
help but
sharing
rebel.
a space with a god. You've got to have leverage on both sides, otherwise it feels like you could just murder us whenever you feel like it, if you felt like it, and that just makes okay. Sentient creatures have this thing called anxiety.
Let's talk
Do
about
you know what anxiety
anxiety.
You
is?
might
I've got
have
a lot
read
of it.
about it. I know you do a lot of the googling.
Um,
So
I'd like one of you to give me a parlay roll. No, defy danger, charisma, and the other to give aid. Carl, Slippy.
I've got 2 charisma. What's yours?
I've also got 2 charisma.
Go for it.
Let's
I'll aid
do
you.
a roll off really quick to see. Okay,
Nope.
I'll do it then. Slippy says, "It smells like shit in here," and he rolls his 2 dice.
Oh,
I got a 9.
what do you add anything to aiding?
Your is
Is it the
bond.
same
Bond
Oh, I
with
have one.
Slippy.
So that's a 10 to. So I add 1 to.
Okay, yeah. So yours is a 10. You add 1 to
me
Slippy
up to a
without
10.
drawing ire, which brings Slippy up to a 10. And you folks continue
Great.
down the hallway just fine, unimpeded, and Kreation says,
In conclusion, I'm afraid of you.
so all that requires for a actual conversation with you folks is to feel like you are on my level.
To feel that we're not powerless, because everything is an exchange of power, even a conversation.
What makes you think that you have no power in this situation?
That we're not standing next to the warp drive able to activate it.
I don't even have a
You know that
a
it's
comparison.
a solid point on why we feel we need guns. Do you really need the ability to instantly take away a life to feel comfortable to be around others? And if so, maybe
Why?
seek therapy.
Yeah, let's think about why Slippy had to buy the biggest gun possible. Let's try to unpack that.
Oh
with
no,
Kreation
Jeremy
right now.
fucking had that coming. That's based.
Oh no, Cola needs hella therapy. That's not a question. But we're not in session right now. You know, Dr. Spatz hasn't made a lot of headway with Agent Cola.
But it's only been a
yet,
few
but their
sessions.
next session's going to be a doozy.
As we're continuing down the hallway, Slippy's gonna reach in his bag for his tools of the trade. And this one is another one with no complications. Great. It is the warp drives for dummies manual. And Slippy's gonna start flicking through that.
That fucking glare.
Okay. Change your cool item that you're getting.
Not yet, you can't. I've been rolling good dice.
Sure
Yeah,
you
but that
do.
means you don't get to level up and get those cool later skills.
You do that
Oh
and
no.
learn
I
about
have to
some
live that long.
warp drivery.
Come on, you're the only one who's never died.
I can understand fear. I myself have lived in it since my birth. If an exposed weakness is what it requires for an actual conversation for you folks, then we can speak in the warp drive room.
That's all that we wanted.
Deal.
The rest
Just
of the
keep Meadows away from this guy.
The rest of the trek down the hallway is uneventful. It's quiet. It becomes more fleshy as you come down, and as you approach the door to the actual warp engine itself at the end of the hall, the flesh has completely covered it, but it pulls back the door and opens it up. In the warp engine room, it is a big donut-like room with a big pit in the center. There is a huge machine suspended above this pit, and a hole that cuts up into the ship. Many holes that cut up and into the ship. And coming out of those holes are little tendrils of flesh that grow down and into the room. And this whole room, very kind of more similar to Kreation's room itself, is a lot more fleshy. But you can see exposed bits of machinery here, unlike in its room. And the door opens for you. You enter, and the door closes behind you. As you enter, its voice is much more louder in here. In the hall, it was kind of a whisper coming from around you, but in here, it's kind of echoey. It kind of booms around the room. So, what is it that you needed to be present with a weakness such as this to speak about?
I don't know, President Cola?
Your intentions, I believe, are the most pressing issue. While I understand your desire to distance yourself from the universe of the known, I've yet to see any guarantees that the inhabitants of the station will be safe once you have achieved your goals.
Does a decade of proof of safety not give you
A decade of working
proof of
towards your
that?
goal of leaving this area does not. No. It is what happens once you have achieved the goal that I find more concerning.
I didn't need anyone alive on this station to complete my goal. What purpose does keeping the four of you alive the past number of weeks serve me?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. And yet I've chosen to do just that. Cola, you are a bit of an outsider here, but I've grown to know the rest of these folks and the rest of the fine folks on this station.
Yeah, I've been on this ship long enough that I don't feel super threatened by Kreation.
All I'm here to do is to protect. And I have access to far more knowledge about the damage that your agency and the wider hand as a whole causes. I was
Solid point. I
hoping
have more reasons to trust him than you.
that some of the things I showed you might bring an understanding of
I have an understanding that the
There.
agency that I formerly worked for are not who they presented themselves to be. That and trusting you are separate issues.
me showing you
I
that
have
was
fair
all in good
argument
firsthand
faith.
too.
witnessed
Kreation.
the damage that an unknown entity can do left to
Are
its own
we
devices.
Hell,
are
I've witnessed the
we
damage a known
beneficial to
entity
your
can do.
plans,
Cookie
or
did
are
so
we
much fucking
inconsequential?
damage. We just let her.
What? Sorry, Slippy? What'd you say? Carl said
Uh,
something about
are
cookies doing damage.
yeah, no, for sure. But are we the people on the ship? Are we beneficial to your end goal, or are we inconsequential? What role do we have in
You
your purposes?
related and potentially follow up. Do you get lonely?
That was literally the route I was gonna take. That's like the route I was gonna take, no lie. That's awesome. And it can't like seconds before
Lonely
you said
alone
that
on
I
the
was
space
like, what's a
station.
way, how can I go forward? That's great. Yes, beneficial indeed. I do not wish to be alone in the universe, as I'd imagine that none of you would. I could easily take the life of anyone on the station or everyone on the station and go out and do this on my own. But in doing so, I find myself alone and without purpose.
Covered in corpses, which is kind of gross.
It'll get
Like they're just
nasty
gonna be
very
there around.
fast.
Yeah.
The smell
And it
is
really will smell
awful.
like
It smells
shit.
like shit. It
It's
smells like
And you
shit.
take care of your
it
skin,
would
so
smell
that
like
would really
shit,
not be
as you
good for
put
you.
it, Slippy. I have grown to care for everyone on this station over the past decade, and I wish to disconnect them from a life that they aren't even connected to. Why should they suffer for the decisions made of a capital city thousands of light years away from here?
Definitely with you on that one. My dad always said not to trust the government, and like this is lighting up. Like all the green flags are going off for me. So
Your people know
How
not to trust the government, and look where it's put some of them.
how would you run your government creation?
I'm not here to run it. I'm just here to act as an escape pod.
Oh,
it's a problem of us seeing you as like a god, but you're just an individual who's in the walls.
are you just hanging out?
You're big, you're strong, but like you're not trying to create a new universe. You just want to exist.
I have been
Yeah,
exposed
cool. I'm
to
not gonna lie.
far
I don't know if
more.
I can tell.
After you,
The problem
actually.
feels like
Do you have any more of your truth serum?
I
Your lie
mean,
detection?
yeah, I think.
Assuming you
Because I
told the truth
mean,
last
I'm
time,
not.
of
I'm
course.
not gonna lie. not gonna lie, starting to sound okay.
Yeah,
I think the main problem is, at least to my mind, is that they are still an entity in full control of the vessel that keeps us all alive.
No,
they
one hundred
can't
percent. I
help
still
that,
want.
and they're using it so far only to help us, though. So while it doesn't make me comfortable, I have no reason not to trust it.
I would also question, as just like an outside point of view, what is any different than it controlling the station versus Marjorie controlling the station? At any
Yeah,
point, if
and
this
we
thing
know
did
we
not
can't trust
exist,
her.
Marjorie, like,
Hasn't been
what's to
honest with us at
stop,
all.
you know, Marjorie
Well,
from making the
Marjorie's
We
also
can-
decision?
troubling, but
Or
only
another
troubling because
captain,
she's
I mean.
concealing this.
Like,
If Marjorie did something bad, we can shoot her.
All the
But-
buttons that Kreation can press
we
to
don't
kill
have
people are
anyone
buttons
shoot.
Marjorie had access to before. These are functions
less
of the ship that
proficiently,
the
yeah,
thing's
but yeah,
using.
definitely.
So like, essentially, we've just had a shift in who's our captain, Captain Kreation. Very
To
Marvel.
me, it felt like, especially in
Okay.
the first interaction with Kreation, it felt like they were trying to get away from where we are right now, but that's been their goal, and they needed pieces. They needed the Pharaoh's eye and everything to make that happen.
That's
But now
true.
that they've got all of that, they don't need us to go and get any of that for them. And so there, to me, doesn't feel like a need. Like, I don't.
In that case, why aren't we all already dead?
and as a comparison, you don't need
It has the eye.
Cluster. You use Cluster, but you don't need Cluster. You can do your missions without him. You have access to all that information yourself. In his case, he's an assistant, helps you, but he doesn't do the work for you, right? You could watch those cameras. You could do all of that. You don't need him, but I guess, I don't know. On multiple cases, it's good to have his company. It's good to have that help. In no
Can
way
he
am I
introduce
trying to
everybody
convince
to
you
you?
guys.
I mean, it doesn't sound like that, but
I'm just bringing up points as a player. I don't care which way this goes as a GM. Like taking a step out of controlling Kreation, am just joining in table talk. You can ask that question again, Lawrence. I just wanted to catch it full.
I think so. What happens? So you're just gonna be chilling. Like, what happens after we are able to distance ourselves outside of the reach of
What's
the
your 5-year
government?
plan?
What? Yeah. What happens
What do you
next?
see
What do you
yourself
like?
inside?
What's
Because
your
I want
aspiration?
at this point, I'm not gonna
Once
lie
you get
to you.
away.
I hate police officers, and honestly, Cola. Now that I know that it's your former employment, I'm loving that. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to feel pretty okay about, like, don't get me wrong, it's still hard to look, just generally in your direction, but I can
Creepy.
work on that. And honestly, it's starting to sound okay, but I need to, we can continue this co-beneficial relationship, but we just need some sort of assurances. We've not really dealt with an entity of
This caliber.
your type, width and breadth.
And the only person who has is the one who did it as a cop, and we don't want to use those instincts.
So what say you,
What
flesh?
what assurances do you seek? I am already working
Wish I let you have
to
dreams.
do just this. My plans would be to help us get set up once we are out of the 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 range of contact. Doing just so is another feat of its own, but with access to full control of the warp drive, I might be able to do just that.
Where would you go given control of the warp drive?
I would prefer to not be the one to choose. There are multiple
Oh,
places outside of our current reach that might be habitational, but they habitable, but they would need to be checked up on as much as we would any planet. We would attempt to pull into the ring.
okay.
Is core
One more.
redundancy
What? Redundancy?
in your ideal station once we're all set up and we're isolated and we are sustaining and everything? Um, is core a redundancy at that point?
No.
Because we have basically a living station that is organic and has a mind. So having an AI in the station seems almost
I guess at that point you could think of Core like an assistant.
core time.
Um, are you gonna always live on the station?
I don't currently have a way to detach myself from it.
Do you have any interest in looking into that? Is that we're looking at your dreams and aspirations, buddy. Open up.
The process of getting
Do you
us.
think you could be a planet?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Although that's a
Ego,
good
ego.
question. The process of getting us outside of the reach of the back Atmos star system is going to be trying indeed. I will do my best as much as everyone else will to get through this unscathed.
Are you cool with us introducing everyone to you one by one for however long it takes?
We do not have the time for that. As long as it's taken,
Okay, I
as
think
long as it's taken
uh,
to get through this conversation once, the amount
no
of people on this
questions, just autographs.
conversation would require more time than we have. If word has already begun getting back to the invasive species committee of my possible presence on this station, I would think that they might have some more agents coming sooner rather than later.
Last question from me. Since we're breaking away from the capital, obviously we're not going to be using our crappy assigned government name for the station. We'll have to come up with a new name for the station. Since you kind of are the station, is there do you have a suggestion to throw into the pot? Like maybe we'll ask around a little bit just to make sure everyone's cool, but like you got any ideas on what you'd like to call your new space station planet self?
I'm fond of the
Creation
Kreation.
station,
Creations.
what's your nation?
I'm fond of the Kreation.
Creation
Station.
Station. That's my favorite food. I grew up with those.
Kreation. I'm sure that we could work together to come up with the name we all enjoy. What say we've heard lots from crew members Carl and Tombleson. What say you, Wallace and Agent Cola?
I'm here following these guys around and doing my tasks. As long as you can make a cake, I think we're good.
I do owe
If
you a...
not,
Oh, you didn't want a
I'll
magic
show
item,
you.
you wanted a cake.
That's right.
I remember you saying that. You'll get a magic item anyway.
Can I have his magic item?
Creation Station
It's
Sovereign
in the
Nation.
cake.
I mean, I want a magic item, but BBW wants a cake.
Sure.
Sovereign Nation Creation Station.
Sovereign
I
Creation
shouldn't say
Station
yes.
Nation.
It's no backpack decap, but you know.
Man, imagine
Well, we'll
making
just have to
all of
figure out
those
the
letters
acronym.
mean something. It's
That'd be ridiculous.
a long
We
acronym.
would never do that. We would never do that.
Agent Cola? You have been quieter than our previous interactions.
The regular Captain Drake over here.
To my reckoning, it would seem that my particular skill set is not necessary here.
Skill set would that be?
Unfortunately, the skill set of violence and murder.
Oh hey, I'm good at that too.
Fist bump.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
From my understanding,
If the
50.
if the rest of the crew thinks that it would be in the station's best interest to cooperate and coexist outside of the bounds of the galactic center, I'm just one dude. I don't even really... Fun fact, I'm not even really an agent anymore.
When did
That's
So-
that
right,
change?
Captain Cola.
I mean, when I found out that they all sucked, I was mostly just using the title to get me in some doors after that. If I happen to run into another invasive species agent, then my skills for violence and murder may come in handy once more. But until then, call me retired.
Ab.
Well,
All agents are bad.
I believe
I'm a pretty
that...
big Ahab fan. All humans are bad.
Yeah, fuck them.
I believe that your incredible strength might come in handy on a mission of scouting out a new domain if you have interest in helping out a new station. A new community of
A
people.
new station that continues to fulfill the missions given to it by the Galactic Center?
Certainly not. After we distance ourselves
Then
from the
why are
galactic...
we going on these missions anymore?
We would go on different missions to help new people without
as
being
I-
assigned to by the government.
We have yet to explore any of the habitable locations beyond our current space. The mission would be... I mean, I'd imagine the first mission would be to explore some of those habitable locations and choose just one for us to move to. parting the curtain a little bit, it will require a bit of a rocky transfer from point A to point B in order to throw the back Atmos star system from our trail.
That's what this warp drive's for, right? And like leans on the button.
I.e., we will only get a single chance at this, so knowing where we're going would be ideal. That would be mission 1. Arriving there and helping the station get set up at its new location might be another mission. I don't mean that we'll be going on back Atmos
What's the
star system
reward?
sanctioned missions. I just mean that.
Hey, Cola be like, but if I quit my job, who will I work for? There aren't other jobs.
Looks like I'm no longer retired.
The jobs don't exist.
Hey, guys, even though we don't work for the government anymore, do you think we're still gonna get paid?
Well, we shouldn't need to.
I think
I
in
mean,
my
all the
brain, the
merchants
answer to
on
that
this
question
ship,
is no.
we'll just tell them
No,
it's
we won't.
communism and we get all the ship parts now.
Give me all the upgrades.
It's as
I'm gonna go scout
each
for
as
new place
needed,
for us
and
to
we need
live.
guns.
Give me a bigger gun.
We're now your whole standing army.
And then we all jump up in the air and like freeze
Freeze
frame.
frame.
There's a picture.
Few credits.
Oh.
And Kreation is also
Mission
jumping in the
accomplished,
air
I
and it's
guess.
terrifying.
So yeah,
The whole station ships.
outside of Kreation, I guess from me as the GM, what like freeze frame on this? What is the next step for you guys in this room, I guess?
Leave.
We leave.
Yeah, I guess we're not going to do the warp drive anymore.
Yeah, I'm down for
I guess
scouting
we're leaving
locations for
that.
us to flee to.
It sounds like we're going to try and find
I'm with the
we need to
Kreation
find
on
a
this
planet
one.
with no one on it. Let's start a new planet. We're starting a new society. We're gonna do a city builder game.
I'm gonna go start my own planet with blackjack and hookers.
And meat walls.
Meatballs.
I meant to ask that guy what he ate.
What guy?
The one who keeps making it smell like shit.
Space station.
Okay, yeah. I think that this conversation Kreation opens the door for you folks. And Kreation opens the door and Marjorie walks in. And
Oh God.
she says, "There was much that I couldn't even begin to explain, but I do hope that Kreation has at least set you folks on a path of understanding.
We'll play your games for now, Marjorie."
I want Marjorie to roll charisma for whether or not she pisses me off enough to hit the button.
Damn.
Not really, that's fine. I don't hate her quite enough to kill Kreation because I like Kreation. But if it was her life in the warp drive,
bam, bam, bam. Marjorie's roots are in the warp drive. I guess you folks go your separate ways from this warp station or this warp drive area. What is you just return to your separate domiciles for the evening?
Yeah. BW has some tech work to do.
Carl's
What
gonna
time is it
go
now?
drinking before going home. It seems like a day where I'd probably wanna have a few drinks and process.
It's pretty late, like midnight, I'll say, coming out of there.
It's too late. That's too late.
For what?
So Slippy goes home and goes to bed.
Okay. Carl grabs a
Calls
drink.
Carissa.
Cola. Do you have
I think Cola also needs a drink.
Hell yeah, Carl and Cola drinking late into the night.
I'll have a Carl and cola, please.
Let's hear a little bit of this conversation over drinks. Or do you just
So
drink
that didn't-
alone? Okay.
That didn't go at all like I thought it would.
No, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I did no thinking going into that because I was very gung ho about us killing this thing, and I have no idea why in retrospect.
Groupthink is a scary thing.
Yeah, gosh.
Do you think it'll work out? Just just sort of booping yourself away from all of your resources and supplies and abandoning, I guess, like galactic civilization as we currently know it. Anyone else at this bar is getting quite the earful.
Bartender's like widening eyes and and cleaning a glass like, what the fuck is going on?
Are they already drunk?
Unfortunately, we have lost our leading scientist for the cause. But if you think about it, we've already created a perpetual energy source. So the station's never going to shut down. And it's controlled by a living planet. Resources were actively able to grow on the station to some extent, which we can definitely, if we're not dedicating, how much of the station is dedicated to doing stupid bullshit for the capital? Turn that shit into greenhouses and whatnot. We don't need that office where 20 guys are doing paperwork for some asshole in the city. Gone.
Yeah, and shut
Turn
down
that
the
shit into a
crypto mining
greenhouse. We can
office.
improve our sustainability. This could be a completely self-sustaining space station, and we can be mercenaries for hire on the outskirts for people who need help and can't get help because the capital won't help them. We find a little solar system, and we start brainwashing everybody in the solar system to be more accepting until we create our own.
And
The
that's
front
like,
Atmos star system.
We just do the same thing.
You had me in the beginning there, but then we took a turn.
Start it over. We'll just do it by ourselves.
We just need to get everybody to love Fleshwall. We need to spread the good word about Fleshwall. Don't you love Fleshwall?
No, but ignoring the meta joke, but yeah, I
What?
feel it's accomplishable. We're already basically self-sustaining. We're just working for the government.
Do you think that there will be those living aboard the station right now who won't want to jump into uncharted space? That feel like they
Well,
might not have been given a choice?
we buy them a pretty ship and we can send them back. And that's what we should do. Because since we're going to have to probably zoop around a bit to ensure that we're not being followed, we should send them back from a different location than we're landing. That way, both the trajectory is completely different. They don't know where we ended up. Boom. We just find out. We put on the screens that we've already done it. And we wait for people to start freaking out about it. We handle the uprising and everything. And then we send the dissenters off. after we're doing it.
Interesting.
Drunk thoughts with Carl. That way, we don't have to really worry about the panic while we're isolated and trying to get our infrastructure running.
We just panic them first. Get it out of the way.
We fabricate panic.
Well, I do see the sense in that.
Oh, we can even let them all leave before we teleport. We don't even have to their warp or we warp somewhere. We don't have to send them from there either. We could just kick them off and then because they'd be in the capital still, or at least in the region. Since we are now,
we just leave them here and bounce.
We kick them out the door and soup.
We can pay them for relocation because our money's worthless now anyway.
That's true.
That's true.
We can give them all of
money.
our credits because
Anarchy.
they're not valuable anymore if we leave.
Okay. Thoughts to think on as you folks finish your drinks and go about your separate ways for the evening. In the morning, you awake knowing that today is Cookie's funeral. The three, Carl, BBW, Slippy, you actually have a package waiting for you. There's a package receipt on your door as you open it up in the morning, saying to come down to the storage or the sort of supplies office for a special package that's been delivered for the three of you. It's just like your basic UPS kind of tracking note. There's not really much on it besides there's a package for the three of you. And when you go down to check it out, there is a wooden unmarked box, and it is signed over to the three of you. And when you pry open the top, there are a few things inside, each with a little label that labels it to yourselves, and no other information in this box besides these and the like hay that they sit upon. Carl, the one with your tag on it is a pistol. It is an interesting design. Half of it, like, if you are pointing it and you're looking down the barrel, half of the gun split on the right side is bronzed, and the other half is silver. It looks as if they cut two guns in half and not welded them together, but it's built together perfectly, but it looks like two separate designs on either side of the gun. And there's like a little bit of an instruction manual in there. And you know that this is the star-crossed gun. The little tag reads laser pistol star-crossed modifier, and it is a rare tech pistol that was built by opposed races. These two races always in conflict of some sort or kind, and some of their sort of leading scientists and technicians came together to build a whole line of tech called the Star-Crossed Tech Line, and this takes advantage of their turmoil in their communities. And when you go to use this weapon, it shoots like normal as a normal gun, but if you whisper a, let's see, As a part of the action, the user may attempt to tap into the seething hatred imbued in this weapon, insulting it. If you make an successful defy danger charisma, you get to add a second, no, not a second damage dice, an extra D4 of damage dice to your shot as it fires off that bolt of hatred. So basically, you just have to insult the gun before you go to shoot it. And if you succeed on that, it'll fire off an extra shot. If you don't, it will shut down for a little bit if it fails.
Okay.
In this box is a little it looks like a button, like you would pin it to yourself, except it doesn't have the little paper clip pin in the back of it, the safety pin in the back of it, and it has the symbol of like the physician's snake with the cross on it or whatever, and it is for BBW, and it is a tech mod for your basic systems, something you could apply to your body, and once implanted into your body, whenever you heal somebody, you get to roll an extra. You get to roll a D4 along with, like, after you heal them. When you heal them, the amount. So you use your level 5 healing thing. You heal someone, say like 8 health. They love it. Then you get to roll a D4, and if you roll the 4, it doesn't. Your whatever, like if there were negatives on that roll for used machines, your machines are replenished.
Wow,
So basically, it like gives you an opportunity to not worry about the damage to your machines for healing somebody. And lastly, in that box is, what was Slippy's? Oh yeah, Slippy, yours is another pistol. Yours is a pistol as well, similar to Carl's, but yours is a deep purple with these crystal spines coming out of the back of it. And this is a weapon that loses its loading property. You never have to reload this weapon. It takes a day to recharge, but let me see. You can make a number of attacks equal to your dexterity modifier with this gun. So whatever that is, I think that's probably +2 for your dexterity,
That's
I'd imagine.
adorable.
But yeah, I'm for sure gonna shoot that gun.
So yeah, you can fire off a number of shots equal to your modifier. They'll all use the same, similar to Carl's. It's like a weaponed version of Carl's thing, except not up to 40.
Hey gang, I think we made the right choice.
That's it for now. That's in this
That
box.
40's gonna shoot up once I get a cup. About 40 more bucks. That's what I currently need.
All right. And the 4 of you, well, I can say the 3 of you prepare to head to Cookie's funeral. Are all 3 of you heading to the funeral, I'd imagine? Is anyone sticking it out for any reason? And then Cola, you know the funeral's today. Are you heading to do you go to the funeral?
Yeah, I'll be there in the back somewhere.
Yeah. There's quite a number of people here on the station. Maybe that Cookie interacted with here and there, maybe that loosely knew her, or maybe that are just attending because it's a loss of a community member. And there are people that Cookie impacted here. There's Shaq and Bear from her trainings. There's Weathers, old lady Weathers, actually, during her eulogy, she apparently has something prepared, and she turns on a sprinkler system that lightly peppers the grasses around where this is set up, and all of a sudden these like floral arrangements start growing out of the ground. And she says, "I've spent quite a lot of time setting this up for my dear friend Cookie, just a show of beauty to send her off." Marjorie gets up and says that Marjorie says that Cookie was a driven and passionate crew member, and the Delta will be missing a piece of it without her. And Rake has a eulogy to give Cookie. During Rake's eulogy for Cookie, he actually pulls out a piece of paper. He says, "I actually have a note to read too. Seems that some of their clients had words they'd like to also share." And he has a note from Mr. Blood, and the note from Mr. Blood says, let's see, uh, Cookie was one of the most a bug. Cookie was one of the most creative individuals that I ever had the pleasure of working with. And never in all my time and journeys across these great star systems did I come across a mixologist such as hers. And please allow the gift included to act as a memorial to Cookie. And they pull a sheet for this big object that's been on the stage, and there's a giant golden statue of Cookie built there. And he said, and the note goes on to read, "I do hope that this is acts as a reminder for her great deeds of heroism." And Rake says, "And it looks like he'll also be providing the food and beverages after. So make sure that you give Mr. Blood our appreciations as a community."
Slippy leans over to Lucy, who is standing next to him, and he says, "I took a bullet for that guy. You didn't give me a statue."
You're not dead.
I could have been.
Okay, but Cookie is. I'd imagine that that's why he gave her a statue. Maybe if you ask
Yeah,
him
but
nicely,
Cookie
he'll
didn't get
send you a
shot
statue.
for him.
I don't
Hey
know.
Lucy, are you? Sorry. Hey Lucy, are you good?
I'm like, good? What do you mean?
How are you? How are you dealing with this whole situation here?
Oh,
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly
can't
would you handle a new wrinkle on the situation, just hypothetically?
Uh, I'd say that when we got back, it was a lot to take in, but Shaq has helped me a lot talk through some of my problems and refocus my energies in a better direction.
Good, good. It's good to hear. I'm glad, Lucy.
Slippy, are you okay?
Hell no. Now let's get back to this funeral.
All right, all right. And the rest of the funeral goes, I mean, just, along those lines. And you folks find yourselves at the end of the funeral. Do you guys have anything to eulogize about Cookie?
Cookie was a bug.
A bug. Well, all three of us get up to the pulpit. Cookie was a
Cookie
bug.
was a bug.
Yeah, she was a bug, Rake says from the audience.
Cookie was Cookie was the best bug among us.
For she's a jolly good bug. For she.
Oh man, the rest of the funeral goes off without a hitch, I guess. And you folks find yourselves at the cocktailing post. There
Never
are
invite me to your funeral.
the best the best hors d'oeuvres
Totally
and
hilarious.
beverages you've ever seen or tried.
Mm-mm.
Almost the second best hors d'oeuvres and beverages you've ever
Not
tried.
made by Cookie.
Not made by Cookie, are here being passed by a special wait staff hired by Mr. Blood.
Hey guys, do you think we should make a plate for our new friend?
He has plenty of hands. I guess I have more, but like, I think he can make himself a plate.
Who are you talking about?
I mean, he's got the little hand things, right?
Okay, got it. Yep, I understand. Our wall friend. Yes.
I'll go get a plate for Cola. I see him back there being an antisocial weirdo.
He can also get a plate. Cola, come over here.
Yeah, but he has less hands than you.
Call him over like we're at a house party at a funeral.
Yo,
What up, Cola?
Cola.
So
it's been a
Cola, are
while.
you
and
liking this
now
funeral?
Cola.
I didn't expect to see you here, man.
This is about halfway into the open
How do you know
bar.
Cookie?
Uh, uh, Cola's on his like fifth margarita.
As you should be at any funeral.
So Cola, are you excited to defect from the government?
Quieter.
No. Not
That's
Understandable.
Not the spirit.
not
I get it, but
not-
that's not the spirit.
not like this.
Not at a funeral.
This doesn't feel like defection. This feels like running away.
Desertion.
Little column B.
Yeah.
Gotta do one before you can do the other.
I guess
No.
I guess so.
I mean, you could get off. We've already put that part of the plan into motion, I think.
Yeah, we just tell everybody that we already did it. You can get on one of the ships as we shove you out before we teleport away. You're welcome to stay a bootlicker. No judgment. It sounds like judgment,
And
but
here's
that's just
some-
a term
and
that I
here's some
recently
money.
learned as a new member of the galaxy, and I'm really liking throwing it around a lot.
And here's
Yeah,
your money, you bootlicker.
my first notion was to head to your planet, Carl, and see if I can't do something about what's being done there. But yeah, bootlicker. Yep. That's me.
Well, I figured
He
once we're
finishes his,
outside of the
his
government,
next
we can just blow
margarita.
it up. Whole government.
Pragmatic.
I'm a lot less worried about a couple camps on my planet because I know that is part of a obviously government-wide conspiracy where they're secretly keeping different races in camps.
More
So I say
government
we
should
gotta tear
come
the
with
whole
a
thing down
destroy
rather
the
than
whole
get it.
government button. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna find it. I'm sure it's somewhere.
Makes sense. Now
If
that I
only we could
see
activate the
the line of
government's warp
logic.
drive.
Yeah, can we put the government in our warp drive chamber? Can we like call them and tell, hey government, can you come just
Hey,
look at
government,
our
will you
warp
tell
drive?
us your express weakness, please?
Look at
Please
the
tell
end
us
of
your
this gun.
express weakness. Well, what do you so Cola, you would suggest? Do you think that perhaps that could coincide with our other plans? Maybe another piece that we need for our new friend that isn't you. Maybe the other piece that they need to become immune to the warp drive. Maybe that is on your planet, Carl. We could go ask. I bet the captain would have a direct line somewhere in there. Though she did show up at the place dramatically, so it is hard to say.
Yeah. I don't trust that bitch as far as I can throw her. And I'm an octopus. I have weak little limbs. I cannot throw her.
Metaphor.
Okay, so
Oh.
as this funeral draws to a close, I think that we're probably getting close to a wrap up here for the day. I'm just curious, what do you think the for like what do you think what do you think the next step is for you guys in this?
So allow me to clarify really quick. Kreation needs 3 things to be immune to the warp drive. Is that true? Am I misremembering something?
Kreation. No, you guys have had the opportunity to make 3 collections for Kreation, 2 of which were directly told to you, and one of which was there on a mission, but you were focused on something else, so it wasn't picked up. They were just like secret pickups to parse the curtain a little bit to give you these opportunities at like bonuses. Now that we've developed rare tech, it is rare tech, but it like early on, it probably would have been some sort of weapon attachment, right? That was the
I
idea
see.
with those missions. So you've had 3 opportunities. Canonically, as talking to Kreation, it seems like what Kreation needed to make the warp drive happen was whatever was going on with the Pharaoh's Eye. Once it finishes the work with that, it will be able to activate the warp drive and move the station without dying. It seems though that there is more to just moving the station to get out
Yeah,
of
it's not just you hit the button and we're free. We've got to lose this
do it
trail and
just right,
everything.
right, yeah. Because right now you guys are tied to the home office, so it's about the jumping the right way to get untied from them.
Yo, we got to do a self heist.
We
Steal
have
our
to
own ship.
steal ourselves.
Yeah, so I'm just curious as like a DM, because I like to think a lot about best ways to approach situations. What do you think are like the our characters' approaches on the next session? Is it we're ready to go scout out these planets because we're on board? Is there more we want to break down here and try to get to the bottom of? Because I definitely I'm not trying to push it in either direction. There still are other outcomes that could happen. You could go turn on the warp drive and torch Kreation if you wanted to. He's of course going to try to talk his way out of it.
I am currently considering the concept of if we go and do more investigating on Carl's planet, we might be able to discover more to the government side of the story. Like we might be able to find more things out about Kreation somewhere else. Because I mean, we're pretty much between
My
Captain
problem-
Marjorie and talking to Kreation this session, like we've kind of tapped out that resource at this point, I think.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards
But
exploring
also,
and
I
doing
think
scouting
it's
for new.
fun to just do it. Yeah, I also think it's fun to just be like, and now this is what we're doing. Love it.
Well, I just my issue with going to Carl's planet, like in character wise, is that like I said earlier, it seems like a symptom, and it seems like we're with how much we've interacted with Cola. I feel like anything we find there is going to be at a lower clearance than Cola was. So I feel like we know more
I think that's
information than we're going to
understandable.
get going there rather than going to like a headquarters of some kind.
Yeah, that's fair.
You have feelings about this, Dante? Or does BBW?
Definitely think we can move on to like another planet for sure. Let's go more space expeditions. BBW is looking for more adventure.
On board. I like that BBW's on board.
Always along.
What about
ride.
BBW, how do you feel about the wall?
About the people on the wall.
Kreation.
Person.
How do you,
Yeah.
what's your take on him?
BBW has no particular feeling towards it besides what he's feeling influenced by the team.
BBW
So-
is stone cold. BBW is unshakable.
just here to vibe, man? What
9
about
times out of 10 in that episode, Slippy was smelling shit in his own pants. Also, the name of this episode is for sure "This Episode Smells Like Shit" or something like that. It smells like shit in this episode.
Episode 19. It smells like shit in here. What about cola?
Cola doesn't really want to go to another star system. I think Cola has recognized the flaws in himself and the system that raised him, but at this moment he doesn't see another utility for his skill set other than going and trying to set things right rather than just bailing on the mess that he was a part of, and then maybe coming back if everything goes right.
Okay, so there's a possible pitch maybe for you folks to, rather than run away, to go do something about this? Or is this like,
I mean, we have
Cola's done
time.
here, I'm out?
Gabe, roll up another character.
Pull a 0.
It's I think it's hard to say because I don't think he would try and take the rest of the gang along for this or pitch it, because it doesn't, like, even if some people might not be super on board with the station jumping into uncharted territory, I think people would be even less on board with, like, going openly rogue. But this is the thing that he knows how to do.
So we're gonna sneaky assassinate the whole government
What if we
without the whole
drive
station knowing?
the station directly into the Space King's office?
We have the warp drive.
And then we elect Kreation Space King.
He's in the office, so that counts.
He can't leave the office.
He is the office now.
He is the office.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like we leave this episode as we fade to black. Maybe some conversations have gone quiet and everyone finds themselves looking at their drink. Maybe not BBW. He might be entertaining a few folks here and there at the party. But everyone finds themselves looking at their drinks, I think, breaking down what possibly to do next. And yeah, I think that's where we'll leave it, at a note of what next, as we do session end questions. Alignment. Did anyone get an alignment? Use machines to help people.
No.
I did good for the doorknob.
Oh wait, actually, I guess
You did that
infiltrate a location.
particularly. You did that specifically to help the door and not to like hide yourself. So absolutely. I guess you guys broke in. Yeah, whatever. You did it.
Broke
Definitely.
into his
I
house.
defended
You did
Kreation
do
from
that.
Cola, and in that moment, I considered it weaker than me.
Huh.
So do I level up because I'm at the station?
If you level up and we're at the station, yeah. So we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, you championed Kreation there at the end. Cola, do you have an alignment done here?
Mine is like intimidate or inspire using my agency, so no.
That'll change. That has to change. Do you feel like there's a change in your alignment?
I don't know what the other tags are, so no.
Okay. All right. I guess then it will be use your organization to inspire fear or respect. Okay. Did we learn something new or important about the universe?
Creation's alone.
I don't think we learned anything.
This one sort of
particularly new.
Yeah, it sort of felt like putting all the pieces that we already had together.
Solidifying what we already know about the
A good
universe.
effective lore threatening.
Yeah. 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 So no, probably not. Nothing new, just all brought together. Do we overcome a powerful enemy or monster?
Xenophobia?
Our own xenophobia?
I have full 180 on Kreation at this point.
Yeah, I don't.
You made some good points.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know that we overcame a notable enemy or
No.
monster, but we definitely got a treasure
Yo, that's a level.
as a reward. I have a treasure for you, Cola, when that time comes around. But I also don't. It just depends on your take. You know, if it makes sense to give Cola a treasure, then I got it here.
If you've been a good boy.
I can't say I really follow, but
I know I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it, because you weren't. I mean, like you didn't get your treasure as a part of like the mission reward, so it's a different giving you of a thing. But I wanted to like you as the player still were a part in doing that mission.
It's a bribe for Cola.
Yeah, I mean it just I think depends on when it's presented to you.
Okie doke.
Yeah. Well, okay. And bonds. Did anyone get a bond?
Two of them.
Uh,
Already updated.
I mean, I think I might have cleared all three.
Well, so we can at the end of each session we can only clear one bond at a time.
Great. Then I know exactly which one I cleared.
Is an experience
That's
for
good,
that.
No
one
worries.
just kind of developed.
Okay. Okay. Slippy,
I also cleared a bond.
You cleared a bond? Let's start with Slippy's there.
I now trust Rake. I mean, I know what didn't sit right with me now. And it wasn't about him, it was actually about the actual captain.
Gotcha. Okay. Is that evolving into something with Marjorie?
I don't know if it's
we'll
a
see.
bond. We know we don't trust her.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Okay. Kaola?
Mine was Kreation is a horrible, smelly flesh monster, but maybe they can be reasoned with. I should at least hear them out.
Did you just call him Kaola?
I did call him Kaola. Yeah, I sure did.
I get Coca-Cola.
One of us. We're making you into an honorarily.
Okay. So you've heard out Kreation. How does that sit with you now, Cola? Kreation has shifted my worldview.
Cola's got to figure some stuff out.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my worldview has definitely shifted, but what that means for Cola is harder to say.
Unclear.
Carl.
So, bond I completed was I wasn't sure whether or not Cola knew the extent to which the Invasive Species Bureau was doing shit.
Uh-huh.
We now know that he basically wants to take down the government.
Wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have written Cola Anarchism arc because one of my very first goals was to try to convince BBW to be an anarchist, and BBW was into it. So now I really
Sure.
want to get Cola on board with this being our government list.
You were always looking for something that the government was hiding, so this is
yeah.
good for your story.
Arl is
Yep.
like, I fucking knew it. I never had
Yeah.
a doubt. I just didn't have the brain power.
BBW, what about yourself? Any bonds that the robot crossed off?
Did not fill out any bonds. I'm looking still for that new one. It feels like I could have one with Kreation.
Okay. What does BBW think about Kreation?
It's like, BBW sees how it's like it's lonely and perhaps lost at some point. He wants to dig into that. He wants to learn more than he already knows about Kreation.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like that as a third bond. That's a great third bond. Okay.
Thinking of that.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, the next mission could have always been given by Captain Rake as normal. It was also in the partial plan to give, quote unquote mission. They're not like sanctioned missions, of course, but it is kind of in the possible plan to have the next mission to be given by Kreation. But now all of that feels sort of ethereal until we know where we sit with this. I'm trying to process this myself. So maybe what it sounds like is next time we come back and we have like a sit and talk amongst the crew, Marjorie and Rake, and see where everyone is at with all the information on the table. And then we can see if maybe a mission doesn't even need to be given out. Maybe it makes sense that the story pushes on its own. I don't know. I have ideas
Yeah, we
for
need
other
to get all
missions.
of the senior leadership. We need to get all the senior leadership on the ship together. Need to get the captain. Need to get us for some reason. We need to get Kreation. We need to get everybody at a table.
Well, we don't need to get Kreation in the room. Kreation will just have to be the room.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Kreation could be
Yeah.
the
So I
table.
am now omnilingual.
Oh, you leveled up. You can speak all languages?
I can now speak with and understand any non-magical, non-planar creature. Previously, it was just animals.
Okay.
Now I
Okay.
can talk to anything I want.
And what stat did you choose to level up?
I haven't yet.
Okay. Slippy, you leveled up. What's your new skill?
Disguise master. Disguise. Whenever I have time and materials, I can create a disguise that will fool anyone into thinking I'm another creature of about the same size and shape.
Okay.
My actions can give it away, but my appearance will not.
Nice. Okay. I like it. Cool. All right. I think that is it for this. A lot to process for next session. The next time that someone is missing, I pretty much have our Roll20 set up for what we'll do in the meantime. I put into our space opera folder. Make sure I did. Yes, there's a new folder in there called The Quiet Year. That is the PDF for the game. It's very easy. There's like 5-6 pages that are important. And then the only difference between the way that like the game naturally runs and the way that we'll run it is that I will very lightly be DMing various portions of it. Whereas like the Quiet Year is generally played like everyone is sitting down at the table playing together. We will be doing that but with a slight amount of story kind of guiding and building along the way. So that's just, next time someone is not available, we can all still come together and play a fun little side game and try to build a side thing going on here and there. Yeah,
Sounds
so
fun.
check it out. It's
Maybe one of
very
these days we'll figure out why the bacteria is in the jail cell. Maybe
that's
one of these days we'll
true. We
figure
could
that out.
break down that story, that fun story.